Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the name. I had no idea. Found out on our podcast.
That's all I got on there. Good brain moment. Skills.
Oh, no, that's that. Look.
Where's the mic just so I see this? Okay. And like as we ask individual questions.
Going to be very grainy. We are live from an undisclosed location. John wouldn't let us into his room.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
All right. I apologize if the sound is terrible, if this gets choppy, and it's gonna. But here we are. All right. So with me on what appears to be video that's loading is I've got Kyle, DJ Local. I've got Hunter himself.
What's going on?
And John is going to try and sort out our technical difficulties.
I am indeed.
For now, we're going to talk about Sorare. But if you don't know what it is, I'm just going to show a
Forms
video.
fans into general managers. Build your team with ownable digital player cards. Collect, buy, sell, and trade to optimize your lineup. Compete against Sorare managers from around the world. Climb leaderboards and advance to elite competitions. Based on your player's performance on the field, win rewards like game tickets, merch, and much more. Draft your set of free cards now at sorare.com/MLB.
There it is.
Either. All right. Well, my mic is on. You know what? Just leave it. Let's see if this one will work for everyone. All right. So yeah, we're doing a professional podcast thing here. You didn't hear any of that. I'm Kevin. This is Kyle, Hunter, John from Sorare, and we're gonna do our best to talk about Sorare today. Hopefully, you saw the video earlier of it. Yeah. We got Harrison, the intern here. He gives us a thumbs up. He says you can hear us, which is great. All right. And the other thing I said, well, you couldn't hear me, was that I am here as the face of SorareFP because Alex Hooper, who's here in the comments. Hey, Alex. He left us for Underdog, and they won't let him do Sorare stuff anymore. So this is why you're stuck with me. This would be a lot better if Alex was in charge, but unfortunately, it's me. All right. So what we've got planned today is kind of talking about the state of Sorare. But first, I want to say thank you to Sorare because I'm here other than the SorareFP part because I won a free trip to the All Star game. Same with DJ Local. What contest did you win? Limited. He won the limited June chase. Zuby is here in Houston as well. I believe Dewey is coming as well.
Yep, Dewey's coming on. No, he's coming tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah, so he'll be here.
Yeah. So thank you to Sorare. This is I think part of why we love it so much.
Yeah.
Because there's so many cool things we can do. But yeah, so we're gonna have someone that I met 20 years ago, I think, playing poker, Nate, also known as Pasquale Wisdom, who does Sorare Edge. And we're going to have Eric Anderberg on here as well from NFTY Sports. So assuming we make it that long, and assuming you don't get kicked out of this space, which no one knows we're using. So yeah. So again, this is John's fault. Thank you, John.
Very Texas way.
All right. But I can't imagine you're watching this if you don't know what Sorare is, but we'll be running, I think, a tutorial on it later. But for now, Sorare has been in existence for 2 years. Is that right, John?
Yeah, MLB, we started about 2.5 years ago. We started in the middle of the season, right after the All Star break, for our first year, and we launched right into action. And then shortly after, we launched our NBA product, and then rinse and repeat from there. We're now on our 3rd season of MLB, and we're going strong. We made a bunch of different changes this year. I'm sure a lot of you guys are privy to it. If you're watching, you probably know exactly what the changes are, but we added a lot of different attributes to the new game, including special weeklies, monthly chases. A lot of really cool merchandise, if I'm speaking frankly, as well, has been added to the prize pools lately. And I think that's a big reason why people play. I mean, you can win. Right now, we have a Garrett Cole signed cap. I know he's not pitching the best, but I go to the office every day. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. So it's really nice to be able to give away a piece of history to our managers, and also give experiences like this for these gentlemen and these lovely dudes. So yeah, we're Sorare. If you ever have any questions, definitely hit me up. John Sorare on Twitter and Discord and everything. So please feel free to hit me up.
Rock on. Thank you, John. And yeah, so yeah, the changes that we've seen, the new stuff that's come, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
And so I don't know, Kyle, is there anything in particular that has been added this year that you have liked or not liked?
Special weeklies,
Yeah.
just being able to utilize your collection in different ways. I mean, I think the most fun I think everybody had was with the catchers, the limited, the field generals. That was just because, I mean, sometimes you win a catcher or you'll buy a catcher because it's usually a lower price point to get access to an offense, and being able to have them, I don't know, honored especially for a week was cool, and being able to get that extra utility out of them.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sweet. Hunter. So Hunter normally is the one asking the questions here. He's a little bit uncomfortable if he's going to have to answer questions.
We'll be fine.
But we're going to do our best. And I know he was joking. He's like, I don't have as many cards as you, Kevin. Like, yeah, no one does. But again, I've said this 1,000 times, but I think one of the coolest things about Sorare is that, are you getting me? There's like 1,000 different ways you can play. Like if there's people that are here just to collect cards, for the most part. I mean, they're playing every week, but like if you're into collecting cards, you can do that. If you're into just tracking the market, and like that's why I have too many cards. It's like I can't help myself when I'm like, oh, this card's way underpriced. I need another Chris Sale, and then another Chris Sale, and then another Chris Sale. And actually, we were just talking yesterday at the Futures game where Kyle was like, I got a Chris Sale super rare for $20 last year.
Wow, rare.
Okay, rare, yeah. But like, yeah, still like it's stuff like that. And then there's the game. It's I typically describe this as like the best parts of Dynasty and Daily Fantasy, where you're collecting players for long term, but also it's if a player gets hurt, you're not screwed for the season. You got 3 or 4 days and you can start over again. And so again, so there's me who has too many cards. Kyle who plays, he's got a great gallery as well, but also is playing a different style than me. He's certainly, I can't imagine he's got as many extra cards as I do. And then there's Hunter, and like Hunter's got a much smaller gallery, but he's playing and he's having fun. So from your perspective, what has happened this year that you'd like to not like?
Yeah, I mean, I stick mostly in the limited tier. I don't play at the stakes of these guys, but yeah, I think it's the best fantasy game out there. I love the trading element and collecting. Love doing content. Love having these guys in the podcast and hearing from them because they are so heavily invested. Yeah, I just love fantasy baseball, and the Sorare community is awesome. So it feels great to to be here in person with these guys and meet you guys in real life and do something like this. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And all of us are figuring out all this stuff as we go. Hunter and I rode over together, and he was joking. It's like, I thought that there were 15,000 people watching me and John Morosi, but it was just impressions on Twitter. But there were still hundreds of people watching.
No,
Yeah, we did get a big boost from John Morosi. Not sure if there was there actually 20,000 people?
yeah. So it was 20,000 total views, and
Okay.
then impressions you got was over 50,000. So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
definitely did get a lot of views.
Yeah.
I was super happy with it. He's John Morosi. First off, is like the nicest guy of all time. I mean, he's just like a pleasure to talk to all the time. And then mix that with Hunter, who's also a pleasure to talk to and a really nice guy. It was just a great conversation that they had. And when it has to do with Sorare and put yourselves in the shoes of a manager, it's a recipe for success. So I think posting on Twitter, and people love John. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, you know of him, obviously, and kind of just ran with that. And a lot of people got to hear about the great gospel of Sorare, which I love to preach all the time.
Yeah, I got the retweet from John Morosi, and he obviously has a big following, so that was very beneficial. And yeah, I was surprised to learn that he's pretty invested in the game. Like he trades, and he was telling me about the trades he does, and, and he really enjoys actually playing the game. And yeah, it was a great time talking to him.
Yeah, I mean, putting yourself in the shoes of a manager, a real GM, honestly, and I think that's the whole point of the game. That's our like call to action. And Clamp, what you said, like there's so many different facets in the game and avenues, whether it's collecting, whether it's trading. You could look for bargains and go bargain hunting. But then at the end of the day, it's like you're acting like a general manager. You have to find new players when one gets hurt. You have to deal with other managers and their bad offers, because I'm sure there's hundreds of bad offers that go around the MLB daily, and there's hundreds of bad offers in Sorare daily. So it's nice to really get your toes wet into the general manager mindset, and I think that's what these dudes are doing right here, which is great to see.
And I've said this before. I want to say it again, Hunter. I think it's so cool what you do. I think it's so cool that I got to be on the same podcast that now John Morosi, that Nick Pollock, that Saras have been on. Like that, it's amazing. And like hats off to you, man. Like it's keep it going, and thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You just got to slide into people's DMs and ask them if they want to come on. Usually people say yes. Like 95% of people say yes. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing it for a little over a year now. So yeah, thank you.
Heck yeah. And if you aren't signed up, sign up for his newsletter now, today.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, for real.
Please sign up.
The other thing we were joking about was like, there's, for a while it was Alex with SorareFP, where we are right now, doing this, but there wasn't much other content out there. Now there's almost too much.
Yeah. I love it.
In that,
It's my ears.
Well, and you find what's right for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's music to my ears too. That's like my bread and butter. The community aspect, I love it all. I love hanging with these guys. I love all the content that comes out of it and the passion. I mean, you could just tell the passion seeps through everything that's made. So I definitely prefer the overabundance of content creation nowadays. We love it. So it's always nice stumbling upon someone else that I didn't really know made content, or when you see like football managers come over and make content for MLB, or NBA managers come over and make content for MLB. Shout out George. That's always great to see. And I've really been loving it, and I feel like we have a pretty good outpour of content being made this year. So definitely all smiles.
And I want to mention the comment pulled up here from Taylor, who's a big fan. He was on, I think, episode 5 back when the podcast was brand new. I don't recommend watching those episodes. I wasn't a great host. It was a little awkward, but yeah, shout out Taylor for being a big fan. He's come on twice now. And yeah, big supporter. So,
Mr. Meyer. Heck yeah. Shout out Taylor.
Yeah, great Sorare player too, by the way.
For sure.
Definitely.
And he just picked up Tovar Super Internet for super cheap. That was another one where I was about to bid on it, and I checked to see who it was. I'm like, fine.
He marked his territory.
But yeah, so Miguel's got a question for John.
Yeah, I saw it. I honestly think that the best answer to this is, I understand that you guys are waiting for merch in the store. Sorry, excuse me. I think our priority though is to revamp the store entirely and make it way better than it currently is. That's not to say we're never going to put merch in there. We definitely are, and we just ordered a bunch of merch. So if you do want merch, please hit me up. Hopefully I don't get like 500 DMs after this, but please do, and I'm always happy to send it out. But yeah, we're definitely working on revamping the store, and we want to add a bunch of cool stuff in there. And I think with the more avenues that we're exploring, whether it's Essence, whether it's I don't know, just reward boxes in general, there's gonna be a bunch of cool stuff that you guys are gonna be able to purchase in there, and I'm looking forward to it. So I know that's kind of like a political answer. I'm not exactly answering the question when it's coming, but
soon.
I don't use that word anymore. That's something I've learned the hard way. Soon is not an acceptable answer, so I usually just circumvent the actual answer.
So will there be an announcement for the announcement?
Yeah. No announcements for announcements anymore. We just ship now, and then we announce it.
There we
So,
go.
but yeah, that's a good question. I completely understand that. Miguel, please hit me up, and I'll hook you up with some sweet shirts that I actually will go and grab real quick just to show the new design. It's pretty cool. We have a nice stitching in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, very nice, right?
It's
They're now
Embroidered, huh?
they're now embroidered. Yeah, they're not just flat text. I'll come up and show a little bit better for everyone.
yeah.
A little embroidered right there, the great logo on the back. So I really like these. If you have gotten a shirt in the past, I do think this is a big upgrade. And the hats honestly are a little bit of an upgrade too. I think that we just got these made pretty much the same, but I think they're a little better quality. So a lot of fun merch that we have, and we'll have them.
And we're going to be grabbing all of this from John, taking it with us. So I just put up, if you want to join SorareFP, please do. As Alex would always say, $5 a month for projections, $10 a month for the app, Discord, and all of that. But yeah, so for real, we're going to grab some of this and do some giveaways. So please subscribe to YouTube. I was going to try to stream this to Twitter. I apologize. That didn't happen. Apparently, you need a premium account, and that has not been approved yet. Apparently, my blue check isn't ready. So we're just on YouTube right now. But yeah, please, as my 6-year-old says, he's playing video games. Be sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, so I got 2 questions for you, John. Actually,
Go
one's
for
just
it.
a comment.
All right, I'll see if I can answer.
The biggest thing for us is expectations. So
Sure.
can we expect? Should we expect Essence to be coming this year? It looked like it was coming. It looks like it's on the way. And should we expect like a Rivals type thing coming at some point in the future?
The second question is a very big question. I'll definitely dive into that. Essence is a tough one. It's been talked, just truthfully, it's been talked about that we're going to ship it this year. I just want to be open and transparent in the fact that when we ship something now, we want to be 5,000% be sure that it's going to be working properly and if there's no issues. So that always leaves the chance that it won't be ready in time. And if that's the case, you can guarantee that it'll be ready for next season. And NBA, we already announced that it's going to be ready for season 3. So I'm excited to get that done. But yeah, I don't have a direct answer for that. That's more of my coworker Everett, who would be able to. Sorry, not trying to throw anyone under the bus right there. Actually, do not DM him asking. Do not do that. But no, I think that there's a good chance, and we love the reactions that everyone's been having on social media. It's I was not expecting Essence to be such of a big hit as it is, but it's the closest thing that we have to ripping packs at this point. And I think the design that they did, where it's the Sorare lab, is so cool. And our designers absolutely killed it with that. So I'm really excited to get that shipped and ready for either end of this year or next year. And then I saw the other one. The other question was Rivals. Yeah, we love how Rivals worked out for Euros and soccer in general. It was a ginormous hit. Rivals leagues were great. It's a private league, but only better. We do absolutely have plans of starting daily games. NBA is going to see it first, but we want to be, again, transparent that they're going to be different than Rivals. Obviously, the baseball and football are so different that there needs to be obvious and prominent differences, but I do think that the actual whole game will be a little different than what you're expecting from football. But we're excited about it, and we think that it's going to be a really big hit because we do think that just daily onboarding is the path to kind of getting people familiar with our game. Just like I think Euros was a perfect example. Think about all of the private leagues that were created and all the people that joined those private leagues that never heard of Sorare before. At this point, I've never seen more FPL people interested in Sorare, and it seems like influencers are constantly, from the FPL side of things, are constantly tweeting about us. So our daily games definitely worked and have been moving us in a really good direction. So I'm excited to bring that over to the U.S. side. Sorry for the political answers once again. I just got to do it.
No, that's fine. And, and I know at times you're just the messenger. So, it's not things that are under your control. But 2 things I want to say. One, just make sure that baseball doesn't get broken. Baseball is by far the best Sorare game. It's the most fun. you know, I don't whether that was entirely intentional or you guys just lucked into it. I don't know. But like the gameplay balance is so good. Like anyone can win. You know, and if you do have baseball knowledge, you can certainly use that, whether that's to, you know, get players cheaper, you know, when you know, if you know someone's going to be good and they're just underperforming, like the market's incredibly responsive to actual performance as opposed to, you know, kind of long-term, you know, how valuable a player might be. And so, you know, you can flip cards. So again, Rivals is never going to take over the actual game.
For sure. They're different concepts. I really do see Rivals as an onboarding tool. Obviously not entirely. Like it's DFS in certain aspects as well. You can win at this point right now. It's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, playing with Zidane would be awesome. And I'm not like a big football guy. So, yeah, no plans to take over the Sorare Classic game. We love our game. We really don't want to change it much. Maybe like,
on the other hand, NBA should change a lot.
Right? Well, there is a lot. If you read our so I think part of the reason is like you come from a baseball background, and like you're saying, the game is just made where any player can score really well, and you don't have to have Luka and someone else. It's NBA is a little more grindy, where you have to kind of just pay attention to L10s constantly, and whoever's whoever has a really juicy L10, you have to play them, and if you don't have them, you're screwed. While baseball, on the other hand, you can just like put a string of 7 guys together, and it could be like your C lineup, and it ends up in like podium or something like that. So there's a big difference, like stark difference in the actual gameplay.
And you know, and part of that it's the design, like the gameplay choices, right? Like if NBA was cumulative rather than your best score, it'd be different, right? So if Luka's only got 1 game, you know, over the weekend, and you know, I don't, you know, the worst player, but on a team that's playing 2 games, you know, they could easily outscore him. So stuff like that, you know, I mean, are changes like that, like, should we expect the NBA game to be exactly the same when the season opens?
I think for the most broad strokes, gameplay will be similar.
Okay.
And for the experimenting things though, like that, the beautiful thing about special weeklies is it's a visible time to A/B test things. So if we want like I don't know, to do like last year we tested pure play in NBA, which people loved, which basically is you need 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. So just like regular lineup, and people loved it. So mixing with things like that, I think, is a great step for us, and just to see what people like. And then it's nice because we have all the data that we need. Like if there's any upticks in the marketplace, like we're able to tell, and we could usually have a good idea what it's from when. Like, this was announced at this time, and then for the next 12 hours, there was like an uptick in purchasing for like All Stars, let's say, for like July Chase and everything like that. So a lot of A/B testing through special weeklies, but for the most part, NBA will be the same. There will be differences though, but like broad strokes, the game's going to be pretty similar. And then I guess like obviously I would be getting my ahead of myself to say that for MLB season.
No, for sure.
But essence for sure.
But yeah, and I do want to say I love fantasy baseball. Baseball is by far the best sport that's set up for fantasy sports, just because of the way, just all the stats that are thrown off, you know, things that happen and all of that.
Quantifiable.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You know, and it's been around the longest. And you know, I mean, I've played fantasy baseball and football for over 20 years, which is insane. But I will say I'm by far more of an NBA fan than any other sport.
Really?
And yeah, I mean I'm more into MLB now because of this, which is great. But no, I mean I had season tickets to the Bucks and I was Milwaukee.
Oh, that's great.
The Bucks, and like if I could play any sport for the rest of my life, it'd be basketball. Like it's fun to watch, all that.
Yeah, me too. Except I was cursed being 5'6". I'm unable to really.
You'd be a fine backup point guard.
backup point guard, maybe on a Division 16 team. Yeah. But
and then the last thing I wanted to say, and Kyle brought this up yesterday, was why does the Sorare app have like Rivals and Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah, so that's like we're changing it. It's actually like not a point of contention, just like discussion. Like, should this work? And Damien, being the great smart guy he is, he was like, we should change this back to our logo, and they were like, okay. So yeah, it just like took a second to get in touch with the App Store and everything, but especially since the Rivals push is done, I do think it made sense for the time being.
Yeah.
The Rivals push, the Kylian Mbappe marketing and things like that. I do think that just attaching it to a face that's super recognizable will, I don't know, brand recognition, brand appeal. But I agree, it shouldn't be like that right now, and it's definitely changing in the next. I can't say how long, but soon.
That's fine.
And then I want to go back to something you said, by the way, about Everett. He created the game. He's like the best fantasy baseball player or fantasy mind I know. He's like the reason that this game is so good. And he should get all.
So like he's been there from the start. Like,
yeah, he's created the scoring. Like,
man, that's Everett. Good work.
Yeah, he has history in ESPN and everything like that. And such a long fantasy background that this guy knows his stuff, and he's like such a valuable asset to have to the team. So it's great to have someone like that that's made arguably like the perfect fantasy game. So obviously I'm saying that.
Everett, there's a lot to be done with tiers still. Got a lot of problems with you people. You're gonna hear about it. So
you can't help but hear about it with your name on the Sorare, right? Fix tiers, please.
I don't want to be accused of being a Sorare shill, so but yeah, no, I mean, for real, I think we do need to. I think you guys need to hear when you're doing things right, and there's a ton that has been right. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that's been implemented this year has been great. And I think it's all pointing in the right direction, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Alex and I did the tier talk with Evernote, it's cool to see like someone that knows what they're talking. Like he clearly knows what he's talking about and understands. Which, on our side, like we just don't know that sometimes.
Yeah,
it's hard to say if like Sorare is just stumbling around blindly, figuring stuff out, or if people are kind of understanding why we love the game, like the parts that we love, the parts that are frustrating or not.
Yeah,
it's so cool to see that is there. The more you guys can tell us that, the more the more that we hear, understand that you're hearing our feedback.
100%, and I think that like this is great feedback for me as well, because it's kind of like my position at Sorare to give this feedback and give the audience, like our community, a voice. And I think I'm still getting my steps underneath me and figuring out like what the best way to do that. But I think like these podcasts are a great way and avenue to get feedback from you guys, show that we know what we're talking about. At least Everett, just kidding. But yeah, I think that you can expect more podcasts coming out. I really enjoy doing these. We have enough people on our team where we can like cycle through people, and it wouldn't be like, oh, I heard from you like last week. What the hell? But so yeah, I think that.
Although we've got enough questions, we've got enough to say that. Every week, at least for a good month or two, we'd be able to get
definitely enough questions. Sometimes I'm like, how do you guys have so many questions? It's crazy.
Speaking of, Taylor has one. Is anything happening for the Derby tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're gonna do a pick'em. So the way we're gonna do it is we didn't want to hype it up too much because I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I think like what we're giving away is super cool. So we're gonna be doing 2 separate pick'ems, one on Twitter, one on Instagram. For both, the winners of those are gonna get 2 postseason tickets each. So I think it's a pretty cool reward just to see whatever postseason team you want. And all you have to do is just pick who you think is going to win in the home run derby. And if you get the answer right, we were going to do top 3, but I think it's just a little too hard at that point. And then if only 30 people answer, like what are the chances that someone gets podium correct? Like maybe one person will. So we wanted to kind of make it a little bit easier. So we're just going to choose one player on Twitter and then on Instagram, reply to it. And then we'll do a random pick of the winners. Definitely not a wheel, but we'll do a random pick of the winners. And
my wife, by the way, believes that it was rigged as well. So
I was in I'll give the full story so everyone can know. I'm in a meeting because I was doing this and I was like, I heard the bell in my calendar. I was like, I have a meeting, I gotta go. So I enter like our US sports marketing meeting or something like that. And I'm sitting there and I was making the wheel and I copy and pasted all the names that needed to go on there. And I click spin and I was thinking in my head, I was like, it would be really funny if someone like prominent in the community won, because I already know what they're going to say. And then right when it said Clamp, I literally shouted in the office. I was like, whoa! And I was like, oh no, I know what exactly I got myself into with this one. But I think does the opposite. Like if we were not choosing the first person to get picked, I don't think I would choose the most obvious person to get picked, if that makes sense. So it definitely was a tough one to be like, yeah, I swear to God, I'm telling the truth. And thankfully everyone believes me, and I showed as much as I could that I was. But yeah, clean pick. I did it as good as possible. Just random and what is it? RNG, random number generator, helped out, and then chose 500, put them on the wheel, which is still 1 in 40,000. If you guys didn't know, it's 1 out of 80 times 1 out of 500, which is 1 out of 40,000, which is the same odds. So if you're not in the Discord, you're gonna be like, "What are these guys talking about?"
There was like a day's worth of discussion about whether or not it ended up being 1 in 20 million.
Yeah, or 1 in 40,000.
There was some questionable math in there, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I almost got gaslit into thinking that my math was wrong, but I think, I don't know, maybe it still is. But yeah, no more wheels, but we'll do random number generators to see who wins and everything like that. I just thought it would be something fun to like add a little flavor to it, but lesson learned.
And again, as Alex said, to be fair, I do have an excessive amount of collections. So
Yeah,
I was close to 100. So I mean, so it was only 1 in like
I think there's only a
1
few
in
names.
4,000.
There's only a few names on the wheel twice because it's like whoever.
Yeah,
I think it was like you and Dewey were on there twice.
that makes sense.
And then maybe Link 808, the guy who won the super rare, he has like a ton of cards too.
Right.
So
I wouldn't have been surprised if Marlboro Man was there as well.
yeah, he has a ton. He has a big collection.
Yeah.
He was not too happy winning a limited, which I feel bad. But like again, it's just random.
He's never happy.
Yeah.
I love him. Like, and I know some people, he's not their cup of tea.
He's funny. You need life in the Discord, man.
Right.
Like you need life in the Discord. You need your people absolutely being like conversational. That's the word I'm thinking of. And I don't know, being a character, and it's good.
Just gotta drop in, start flaming everyone.
When I see arguments in the Discord, I'm like, this is how it should be though. Like you guys like shouldn't be like obviously be friends, but like you guys are enemies at the end of the day too. Like you guys are facing one another. It's PvP, so it's always fun to see you guys argue about, I don't know, either a pick or just opinions in general.
Taylor says he did like the wheel, so
thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it.
I think it's just fun the other way.
Yeah, you think that would have changed everyone's mind? Next time I'll do it left to right, or right to left. But yeah, no more wheel probably unless there's like a huge movement to bring the wheel back.
I think we bring it back for All Star next year.
Yeah,
for sure. Save it for that.
And then I'll get a mathematician to be like, prove that my proof is right. Just like,
we'll have a whiteboard. It'll be great.
X equals X. And then
the one other thing for you is what would it take for us to get a spot in the celebrity softball game? And have that, because there was one, like someone that won a spot, and I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know what they got.
Oh wow.
But yeah.
I think like the beautiful thing about our partnerships is that every year that we have them, they only grow stronger and we get access to more things. So
who do we start harassing to make this happen?
I'm throwing no more names under the bus. But I do have the name internally in there right now, and I'll be sure to bring it up with them. But that's a great idea. I love that. Last year we did on the field batting practice, which I know I'm just going to go back on exactly what I just said, but we didn't do that this year. It has nothing to do with the partnership.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. No, it's fine. It's
fine.
John.
You guys have on the field viewing though.
1 in 40,000 chance, and I don't even get to do batting.
Yeah. Well, there was no live podcast, so we replaced it. That's what it was.
I feel like the plan was pretty good at batting practice.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
It was pretty good. It was fun to see.
I need to practice for something I'm not going to
Exactly.
participate in.
It was-
There you go.
If you guys remember Steve went to the batting practice. He went to the batting cages like a month before because he was like, I'm not embarrassing myself up there. Like, there's no way. And I think that like YNWA, that was his first time swinging a baseball bat. He was nailing them.
Yeah,
he was making good contact. I was just like, you've never swung a bat before and you're hitting it. It's crazy. So,
They didn't have any bad habits.
yeah, that's what it is. Exactly. He's only watched the best, so he's picking them up on them. But yeah, it was cool to see that. But yeah, not this year, but I will be supplementing that with All-Star game jerseys for everyone. So we'll be getting those. We'll figure out what player you guys want. And we'll get those over to you. But that should be fun. Even though I'm not a fan of this year's jerseys, to be quite honest.
Yeah, they're
a little crazy.
I'm gonna put together like a photo montage of my weekend here, and one of the weirder things is there's like a conveyor kind of
Yes.
thing where
Yes.
you can have them you can personalize your own All-Star jersey, but there's I'll show the picture eventually and you'll see it when we're there, but it's wild.
That's cool.
And it's right next to the Hurtado barbecue stall, which was pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. And next to that is the Michelada stand.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was phenomenal. I'm gonna find that video and play it for y'all because the guy putting them together was very impressive. So
I'll be
while I look
checking
for
that
that, Hunter,
Yes.
do you have thoughts or comments for me? Like, what could I be doing better here? What
As
could
a
I be doing
host?
worse?
And host,
No, I
oh,
think
putting you on the spot.
I think you're doing good. You're kind of going at John right there.
Yeah.
Putting him on the spot. I kind of like that. I was right in the middle of that, going back and forth.
I really don't mind. I love this stuff. I feel like I could talk about this like forever.
We're right here ready to step in the way.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
right.
but do you guys have questions for John? I feel like
Yeah, please feel free. Don't feel like you're gonna be backing me against the wall.
I just love the array of player stuff this year.
Yeah,
Being able to highlight a little
Great.
bit of all over between like the pitchers and the catchers and then still the Julio and Soto stuff. Just being able to, I guess another thing is like are you gonna be working with like other players?
yeah. So we have the we already have them signed and like the videos with them and everything. One of them is just not playing good this year, so we're like, we should just save this till next year maybe.
Understand.
And the other one, we're like, we should also just save this towards next year.
Oh,
But,
I don't know.
one of them's my profile picture on Slack right now. So if someone can ever find out my profile picture, only one person actually can right now, and I won't tell you who that is. The only person I've added on Slack that's not a Sorare person.
Ah,
I'm not gonna. I think if you put your heads together, you could figure out who it is. But
nice.
keep it quiet for now. But yeah, we definitely have those players, and we maybe we'll give away some of their stuff this year. We already gave away like for U23 or U25. Sorry, we did Soto and Rodriguez, who are our ambassadors last year. So we have not done our other ambassadors yet. So you could cross some names off the list from there. But yeah, we love the real life merchandise. For like transparency's sake, we did an NBA, and I had to like send out all the gift cards because we did gift cards instead of merchandise. The worst, like sending out 500,000 gift cards is like the absolute worst thing of all time. So you can probably expect either a better way of getting the gift cards out next year or replacing gift cards with merchandise because merchandise is way easier to send out. So, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, a lot more of that to come. I think my favorite so far is probably Aces High. I really like what we're giving away for that. I think it's Wheeler and Garrett Cole. Yeah, my guy. So should be some cool stuff. I got to order all of it, so I got to go through the Fanatics list and see what looks fun. And that's like my bright part of the week, looking through all those stuff. But yeah, a lot of cool Garrett Cole stuff and Zach Wheeler coming out.
For those of you following along on my scores and Sorare at home, I'm not going to do it for the limited Aces High Chris Sale. Only have 36 points. So I'm in 16th right now.
Oh, no.
It's a bummer. So I won't be winning whatever it was. Was that like Garrett Cole on?
Limited would have been a
The
signed
the
photo. Yeah. So it's probably going to go like photo, ball, bat, jersey. I
Sweet.
think that's the usual. I don't know if like jersey and bat are exchangeable. I don't know which one people would prefer, like in terms of
Ooh,
being
yeah.
worth more.
Yeah, please comment. Let us
Yeah.
know.
Like, should bat go to the unique players? Should jersey go to the unique players? Because they're all signed, obviously, but for me, it's like hard. They're like semi-equal value, so it's kind of.
I guess with a pitcher of bat, kind of, I maybe lean jersey. But
Yeah,
with
we didn't do a bat for the pitcher. We
Right.
did a hat, which makes sense. That would have been ridiculous if they had like a
I-
signed
but,
value.
but it'd be unique though.
Yeah,
too.
it would be. It would be really unique. I try to get the unique ones. They go for they go for a little bit more, but anytime they say something like "Let's go O's" for
The inscriptions.
the inscriptions, I always try to get those because they're so sweet and they're awesome. So a lot of cool ones. Like we gave away a Wemby draft day, which was awesome. It said like #1 draft. Or maybe I bought it for someone, maybe Mr. U, and that was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So it said like #1 and it went by Yama jersey. So
Nice.
some cool stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. I never was really into like collecting cards before or anything, but since starting this job, I feel like I've been collecting real life cards, obviously, as well as digital cards. That goes without saying, but been loving collecting real cards lately, especially basketball, which is weird. I feel like it's not exactly the same, but I got myself Jalen Brunson jersey. It was his rookie card jersey patch or whatever, and it's like my favorite thing of all time. So it's cool that Sorare's kind of opening up other avenues of love and hobbies for me as well.
Yeah, there's a big community of collectors I've learned from talking to people on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, DJ Local here, I know,
Yeah,
was on eBay earlier looking at some
Oh, yeah.
collectibles. So
He's got some auctions that are ending right now.
It's a
Yeah.
passionate community.
You're going tab to tab with
Yeah,
options
yeah.
right there. Sorare to real.
Just CJ Abrams. There we go.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, a lot of card collectors. I would be interested in going to like I find that card collectors are kind of a hard group to jump into if they aren't already used to the environment, whether that's like digital cards and whatnot. But I think if you have an elevator pitch for these guys, it's like, do you hate bringing around like decks and decks and decks of cards? Like, is it a pain in the ass to worry about like the security aspect? Like, are these real? Are they going to be a 10 out of 10 PSA? Do I have to worry about getting scanned by sending it? Like, Sorare fixes all of that. Like, you literally don't have to worry about any one of those things with Sorare, which is a beautiful thing. So I really can't wait to get out to those Sorare. I just do feel that it might fall on deaf ears because I don't know. A lot of those guys are really just about the physical, and then that's it. Not a lot of digital, but yeah.
All right, we've got the sounds like all right. For the barbecue, but it is so excessively big. It's like an entire shrimp cocktail. The giant shrimp. There's a tiny little octopus on top. There's like probably an entire cucumber and various like kind of cut up. Like it is wild and delicious. Like so we're drinking a different gelato kind of style beer, which Hunter was like, I don't know about this.
You're not a big fan.
It's a little salty.
You don't like the salt?
It
It
is.
is.
The ocean. Or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I kind of like it. But I've been getting into the like, especially if it's a morning beer, like
Yeah.
the Michelada style ones. And I kind of like.
I think this is a good choice. I wasn't sure about it before I opened it. First sip, I'm a big fan. It
You don't
does
like
feel like
It's a little
you're
salty.
laying on the beach and your can kind of goes under the water a
A
little
little
bit.
bit.
And you lift it up and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We booked these
It's
at
got a
different
nicer one.
times.
He's got a nicer one.
I don't even know, honestly. This is a nice hotel, but it's like the cheapest one. I think it's just because it's like 1 million square feet. It's like the biggest thing I've ever seen. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'm sorry to do this in the middle of the podcast, but these micheladas are running through me.
Rock on. All right, Nate, can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready? Rock on. All right, so we're gonna bring Nate on.
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you? All right, I gotta get my headpiece in. There we go. All right. So, everyone, this is Nate. Is it Pasquale Wisdom? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's just a name I've used for my online stuff since high school. So,
Yeah. I mean,
my name's Nate.
No one calls me Clamp or Clamp One or K Lamp or any of that in real life either. I mean, John does, but yeah, it's been that's
Right.
been a new thing to hear it out loud. It's just an internet name. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. What did you want to ask me about my journey to Sorare or?
Yeah. How did you end up? Like I said earlier, I'm not sure if you were watching them, but like I think I met you like 20 or 25 years ago playing poker.
Yeah.
And did you live in the same apartment as Will and Eric? Is that what it was?
I did. Yeah, I lived a floor below them.
This. So it's a very tenuous chain of relationships where we got to know each other. But yeah, Nate reached out on Twitter, I think, like a year ago. It was like, I know you. But yeah, so when did you start? How did you get here? And what are you doing now?
Well, I bought a $14 Top Shot pack back in 2021 and ended up selling contents for $500 and got started with that. And then gradually I wanted them to make a fantasy game and I thought they were going to go that direction. And then when Sorare got the contract for doing a fantasy game, I basically came over to Sorare. I started making YouTube content for NBA last fall, did it for the whole season. And I got kind of a nice small following on that. And then when baseball season rolled around, baseball is kind of my favorite fantasy sport. So it was a natural match. Started on this and been making a little bit of baseball content on YouTube, but doing more with like doing projections and making spreadsheets and building tools and stuff like that. So yeah, just a little natural progression, but that's kind of what I like about baseball. I just love the numbers of baseball. I love, breaking down results and trying to predict the future. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. I make tools. I made a gallery organizer tool that auto-populates with whatever projections I've come up with. And so my subscribers on my Patreon get a tool that'll auto-populate for them when they get all their names and everybody entered in. And then each week they can organize them and make their decisions.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I took my banner down. I know there are some people that subscribe to SorareFP and to Sorare Edge as well, which I think is really cool. I think Kate was one of them, but yeah, I think it's cool what you're doing, and for sure, and especially NBA. I hate to disappoint our NBA people, but I don't think we're going to keep doing NBA projections. So for sure, it's something to look forward to in NBA season. So I think that stuff, and so they can find you through Patreon.
Yeah. If you find one of my Sorare Edge videos on YouTube, you can find the Patreon link in there, and we'll get you set up and everything. But yeah, I'm going to do NBA too. We had a really good system last year that kind of used standard deviations of results to pick like a range of normal outcomes for each player. And then based on what their L10 score was, it had like the difference in their high end outcome and the L10 score, and gave you like a pretty good idea who you're going to want to play each week. And and who you want to look for in the marketplace, that kind of stuff. So that's what's really fun for me about Sorare, is the combination of daily fantasy, kind of like it's bi-weekly fantasy, I guess, but the combination of that with the stock market effect of buying and selling and all of that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we cover. And yeah.
All right, so we've got John here, and we've been hammering him with questions. You got any questions for John about NBA, or comments, complaints?
I did hear him say that it's going to be a pretty similar game, which is fine. I'm set for that. I'm always hoping for daily games, just because if things go wrong, especially with NBA, if somebody sits the first game and maybe, or they get hurt early in the week, and then you just don't have anybody for the rest of the week. I love daily games, so I was hoping for that. I heard they're kind of leaning toward that possibly, but I'll be happy if it's the same setup as it was last year with the changes to classic cards winning new season cards, and new season cards winning money. I think that was a good change for them. So yeah, I'm ready. I think it'll be a fun season.
Nice. John, did you catch any of that?
No.
Okay.
You're going to give me the
no, I mean it's pretty much the same. He's disappointed that the game's going to be exactly the same, but we all are, so it's fine.
I don't think that's what I said.
I don't want you guys to think
can we re-rack the tape?
I don't want you guys to think like we're just going to throw out the same game as last year. We're not. There's going to be differences, and good differences, all for the better. I think like some of them have definitely been asked before, so I'm excited to look forward to what we have coming out, but I can't really talk too much about it. Got to keep you guys on your toes a little bit. Thank you.
All right, John's got audio now. If you want to clarify what you said.
Oh yeah, no, I like the game. I like the way it's set up. I like the bi-weekly format. Yeah, disappointing part was if someone would get hurt early in the week and you're pretty much shot. I just like daily games, so. I was hoping they would move that direction at some point, but it doesn't have to be this year. Realize we're still in the first couple of years of this thing. I'm just excited for what's coming next, always. So, but no, I'm happy overall. It's been a fun little ride, and being able to grow a little community of my own followers, I guess, is fun for me. So, answering questions and trying to use some of this fantasy expertise. I mean, I've been playing fantasy for years and years, and I feel like I'm good at it, and I know my stuff. So it's a labor of love here.
I will say he's a terrible poker player, but he's a pretty decent fantasy player.
Yeah, much better at fantasy sports than I am at poker. I could never read people. The math I can get, can't read people. So you need to do that in poker for sure.
True. All right. Anything else? Anything else Sorare-wise you want to talk about, or anything else?
No. Do you have any specific questions for me? Do you want to talk some ball? I mean, what?
Let's
did you have?
do that. I think that's great. I've had a lot of questions about the All Star game, which as far as the All Star competition goes, it's a tough one. Do you have any particular thoughts on that? Kind of what are you planning, or what would you recommend for folks in terms of looking for a lineup?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the natural reaction would be if you have a Paul Skeens, you want to play him. But in this case, since he's only going to be going an inning, maybe two, you probably want somebody who's coming in after the starter. So I wouldn't start either starting pitcher. You're going to get that 5 points from a relief appearance from a normal starter, or you can use a reliever.
I think that one's removed. Is that right, Sharon?
This stuff is cut off. If it's about RP appearances, that is removed.
Yeah, no relief appearance.
I also want to go back to something he said about daily games. Like, we are 100% interested in daily games, and we talked about it a little before. I don't know if you heard, but like Rivals was a great gateway into daily games, and we love how it turned out. We're gonna do some little changes in Rivals, and hopefully you guys like it. So
yes,
it'd be fun to see.
I guess I'm not even sure if you can answer this question or not, but are there any limitations to like the license or anything like that, where if you wanted to change the format entirely to a daily?
No, like we're in terms of, I'm not like the person to talk
Right.
about our licenses, because it's probably so convoluted.
Yeah.
But no, I don't believe so. The only thing I know is like we can't.
Well, we're gonna hold you to that legal.
I just know we can't like sell printed cards. Like that's the only thing. That's all like Panini and everything like that would make sense. But besides that, I don't think there's like any real infringements when it comes to that. Obviously, we need to talk to them about it, but they're really nice and they like working with us and they like the product and the vision. So as long as they're gonna keep working with us, and like by working with us, obviously they're gonna work with us, and then like working with us, if that makes sense. Like not just tell us what to do or whatnot, but we can kind of come to the table, and then they're like, oh yeah, that works perfect and stuff like that.
Nate, I'm going to get back to this in a second, but this just reminded me of one thing. What can you tell us about how long Sorare is definitely going to have a license for?
Yeah, it's like above my pay grade.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I got to ask. So.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to All-Star Game. No relief appearance bonus, but beyond that, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think you definitely want starters. They usually play longer. So you're going to want to look at the lineups, obviously, ahead of time. It's pretty difficult, though. You don't know which pitchers they're going to be facing. You don't really know who's going to be getting more at-bats. They'll probably all get about the same. So I would just look at it as like a one-game projection. And if you're looking at a one-game projection, you're looking at Ohtani, you're looking at Judge, Soto. I mean, your top guys. They're all going to be there. I don't think you can really go wrong. It's probably kind of a crapshoot here. But, not everybody has every card. So it's it'll be interesting. I'm obviously going to put lineups together, but I'm not actually doing any like real projecting for my group because I don't know how projectable it really is. So, but I'll watch the game because, we'll look for you in the crowd.
And so same thing for the rest of the season. Do you have any guys that you really like going forward? Any guys that you're kind of fading that you think ourselves right now?
Well, yes. So, I mean, I really like McKenzie. I really like Mackenzie Gore. I think he's pitched much better than people give him credit for, and he's always undervalued. It seems like I always watch his auctions go for under $10 and think, wow, this guy's really underappreciated. He pitched really well against some really tough matchups early in the season. He had a couple clunkers in the last couple weeks, so I think you probably grab him for cheap right now. But yeah, I mean, you got to kind of watch people's innings too. Players that are maybe running into their innings limits. Usually the teams will let them go another 30 innings past what they've done the previous season. And then they'll kind of taper him down. But I think teams are really adjusting to this. Like you saw Glasnow get placed on the IL right before the break. I don't know if he's even hurt or if they just want to give him some extra rest and skip a start. So stuff like that. Jared Jones getting hurt right now is probably good for him because he can finish the season, assuming he gets healthy after the break, get a prolonged break, and he can actually pitch in September instead of getting shut down. So, there are always guys to look at, but it changes so much week to week. It's one of those things where you have to follow it closely if you really want to, have the inside track on things. It's a long summer and it's a lot of work for a lot of people. And that's what some of our, you're obviously doing your SorareFP stuff. This is what we're doing at Sorare Edge. We're trying to make it easier for people to follow along without having to do all the work. We do all that for them. So.
And John, it would be cool if we got more cards and players that we don't have yet.
100%. We're trying to pump them out like every so often. We do the new faces. Harrison for making those graphics.
Nice.
Yeah, getting his Figma workout. But we're posting them every so often. There's a lot of like extenuating circumstances that don't allow us to post some cards. Whether it's like never got a headshot. Like there's an issue with the actual I forget position. That's what it is. Like a lot of the time, the position has an issue, and we need to fix it. We can't post them without him.
When is Brooks Lee coming?
Good question.
Okay, Nate, and this is just mostly for my personal application for my NFBC teams where I need pitching. Is Max Meyer coming up anytime soon in Miami?
Well, Miami doesn't really have anything to play for. That's the problem. And they don't have any run support. So would they like to see him in the second half? I think they probably would. He's looked really good in limited tries. So I don't see why he wouldn't get a shot in the second half. Why pitch him in the minors when you can throw him in the majors and he's better than most of the guys on your staff? So, I think he's going to get a shot in the second half. Do you have a Max Meyer? Does he even have a card?
No, not in Sorare. No, sorry to John Earmuffs.
Okay.
On my NFBC teams, which are 50-round draft and hold, so there's no inties and pickups, and so when Kenta Maeda sucks and half the pitching has been decimated, I really kind of need him to come up soon. So
you can throw away Kenta Maeda at this point, I think.
Yeah, no, he's done. He's done, but. There have been a ton of. I'm glad to see we've got Lawrence Butler now. I've been teasing Orange Fly for a while. That he was in love with Ruiz, and I was like, well, if you want the strong side of that platoon, it's going to be Lawrence Butler, and he's coming on now.
Yeah, he hits the ball really hard. He's got a great barrel rate. No, I mean he's got all the underlying stuff that you would want, and his strikeout rate's just been crazy high. And if he can get that under control a little bit, he's definitely a rosterable guy and an exciting guy for Sorare too, because obviously he can hit home runs in bunches. You saw 3 of them today.
DJ, did you just buy that right now? Okay, I was going to say DJ Local's buying Lawrence Butler right now. But 4 months ago, you got him for like a few dollars.
Yeah, he was cheap. I looked at him and then didn't pull the trigger, and I'm kind of regretting it, honestly. Yeah, if he can figure it out.
I was just checking in my 11 NFBC leagues. I've got him in 7 of them because he was the late round pick, right? I was getting in the 40th round. Yeah, here he is.
Nice call.
James Wood too. Like that one has been
James Wood.
Big.
Sure.
All right, so I'm just gonna toot my own horn here for a while. David Fry, amazing. Like he was a 50th round pick, and it looked like he was gonna get at bats and qualify to catcher, which with 2 catcher league, it's huge.
Yeah, he had a stretch of a couple of weeks where he was hitting my, top 5 weekly plays. So he was on a major heater for a while there. But his playing time's kind of sporadic right now. It's hard to play him in Sorare. What do we got here?
I lost my cord. There we go.
Minor emergency.
Yeah, I was like, battery? What? No, I'm plugged in. Sorry.
Yeah, David Fry. Yeah, I couldn't find any cards of his for a while, but he's out now.
All right. Anyone else that you're looking forward to?
Oh,
we doing
well,
with
there's
guys?
Christian Scott. Yeah. Looking forward to it in the second half. Are you still talking pitching or just in general?
In general, like bats too.
Hmm.
You'll have your chance. Sorry, Kyle's bringing up players now.
Oh, okay. Who does Kyle like?
Kyle likes I don't know how to say his first name. Elio Ramos.
Oh, Ramos
Ramos, yeah.
for the Giants. Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody who's hitting at the top of the lineup and is playing every day, and he's obviously got some skills. They're not taking him out of the lineup. He's probably their best bat this season. So yeah, he's looked really good. He's kind of a surprise for me. I didn't think he was this good a hitter, but he's really put it together. You see guys come out of nowhere sometimes, and he's kind of one of those guys for me. He wasn't really on my radar to start the season, so that's always exciting.
Nice. And then I have no idea. Are you a Twins fan? You are, right?
Well, I kind of converted back to the Brewers when I moved back to Wisconsin. So I still root for the Twins unless they're playing the Brewers.
Yeah. So
it's coming up after the break.
Yeah. So that's right. Now, is that a 2-game series or is it 3? I saw they're not
2-game series. Yeah, that's the only 2-game series coming out of the break.
Terrible.
So don't play any Twins or Brewers in game week 32.
Yeah, pitchers maybe. But yeah, no, I was just looking at that. I was kind of setting my NFTY lineup and trying to figure out kind of who's going to be going and not. But yeah, it's a bummer because I also have Brooks Lee in a lot of my lineups as well right now.
Hot start.
Yeah, isn't that great? I mean, he's a great story. It's he's son of a coach and all of that, and hard worker and all those things. And if he can, it looks like he's hitting from both sides of the plate, which is huge for them.
Sure.
Especially how much Baldelli likes doing guys. So he's going to.
Well, yeah, you need somebody to step in for Royce Lewis when he keeps getting hurt, right?
I just bought Royce Lewis for like $40, which I'm pretty happy about. After I bought one like 3 days before his injury, I feel like I'm going to be honest.
Well, I can tell you one of the metrics we use is I was using was All Star Game 2023 until current, and Royce Lewis for a while there was ranking like top 5 in that category, which is in OPS basically, which is pretty amazing because it seems like he didn't play enough to qualify, but he qualified for that period.
When you hit a home run almost every game you play in.
Yeah, it's pretty insane that he's up there with like Judge and Ohtani and those guys. So he's something special. I just wish he could stay healthy. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it just keeps happening though. It's over and over and over again. So hopefully he can figure it out.
All right, I'm going to let you go in a minute, but one more question. Or I guess if you have any other thoughts about the Brewers, but Freddie Peralta he's been kind of back to his Professor Chaos ways. What do you see for him going forward?
Oh man, he's tough. I mean, he moved into that real ace tier, and he's had stretches where he's looked like one of the best pitchers in the league, and he is just getting knocked around. I don't know if he's tipping pitches or what's going on with him, but he used to just have a fastball that they couldn't hit. And if they're hitting your fastball and your secondaries aren't quite as good, I'm worried. He did not look good his last outing, but I also think, he's the kind of guy that it may just click back in for him, and he has a really strong second half. So the break comes at a good time. He needs it. He needs a little recharge, and hopefully he comes out with a better second half. It's been a disappointing one so far for Peralta for sure.
Yeah, he went on a run last year, and I'd said for a while like he might be the best of their big three. Like when he's on, like his stuff is pretty amazing. But yeah, and I think he's one that I think Nick Pollock at pitcher list is called a hurler. So rather than kind of a pitcher where his arm action kind of like Luis Castillo, where kind of when he gets off and he loses it, and once he finds it again, he'll be there. So hopefully.
Yeah, it's they need him. I mean, he's their ace for sure.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they're getting by as well as they have with their duct tape rotation.
Colin Ray and it's
Wade Miley and Michael.
It's they just DFA'd Dallas Keuchel.
Sure. Yeah,
it's been a fun season to be a Brewer fan, but the pitching, after having 3 stud guys last year and now 2 of them gone. it's been a
All
little
right.
depressing.
What about their bullpen? Trevor McGill has been someone that has gotten me by a ton. I've played him a ton this year. Hudson looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, Hudson's been a real find, and now Devin Williams should be back shortly after the break, if not right after the break. So they get a little boost in the bullpen. Obviously, Williams, I think, reclaims that closer role right away, unless he struggles again out of the gate, and then I think they go back to McGill. But I think you'll see McGill be the primary setup guy when Williams comes back. And I think they're going to be a solid bullpen. They've been good all year, making up for some mediocre starting pitching. So Tobias Harris has been, or Tobias Harris, Tobias Myers has been actually really good for the Brewers. So there's another kind of under the radar guy that's pitching really well right now. So I think they'll be fine. It's just, it's the Brewers. They'll get the playoffs and not be able to score a run or something. So that happens every year.
I mean, we'll see. There's always a chance.
Chip in a chair, right? Chip in a chair.
That's right. Okay, one more question for you, and this is one I'm going to be asking you guys as well. Hey, look at that. Sorry. Two pitcher-related questions for Sorare, kind of broad strategy-wise. One, what are your feelings on guys like Hudson and McGill if he's not closing versus Devin Williams or closer? And then two, what are your thoughts on playing a starting pitcher in the flex position?
Okay.
Everyone has different ideas. So.
Well, to answer your first question, when I rate my starting pitchers, I'm basically looking at or my relief pitchers. I'm sorry. When I rate my relief pitchers, I'm basically looking at total points. So appearances really matter. Like Ryan Walker in San Francisco is, he's in there all the time, and that's really important. He's a really good pitcher. He's got a high strikeout rate, and he's in there a lot. You can play him ahead of a lot of the closers. I think he's a top 10 RP guy right now. There are a couple of those guys. There's Hoffman, there's Griffin Jacks, there's and Walker, the three that really come to mind. Yeah. Jojo Romero early in the year, but he's struggled a little bit lately. But yeah, you could definitely play non-closers in your RP spot. As far as a starter in the flex, was that your second question? Yeah, starter in the flex. I don't think it's a terrible idea. Obviously, if you want to go for the highest end you can, you're going to want a hitter because your hitter's upside for, like, Tyler Stevenson scored me 106 points or something one week, which is, crazy for him. But that's the upside of a hitter having a crazy streak. Whereas a starting pitcher, you're going to top out about 50. So, and that's probably not going to happen. So I would say, highest end upside is usually what you're looking for. So usually you want a hitter in there. If you don't have somebody who you're projecting more than my cutoff is like 20 points. If I have a hitter I'm projected under 20 points, I'll look at pitchers for sure. I'll look at throwing another starter in there. So sometimes I do it, not very often. Usually I use a hitter.
Nice. Yeah, and I think with relievers, I agree with that entirely. I think, what can be the bane of our existence as like normal fantasy players, which is like closer by committee kind of situation, or what it's just a leverage guy kind of like going around in Minnesota was used that way initially a little bit, but he was maybe coming in the 7th to 8th. Like those guys suck if you just need a save in a fantasy league. But in Sorare, like if they're the leverage guy and they're going to get in there anytime there's a close game like those the guys like Seattle's bullpen was like that for a while, and Seawald and Munoz were there. Like you could play any of them. And, even if they don't get the save, the 5 points you get for a hold is most of the way there.
Yeah, the holds are important. You get a lot of that's a lot of good pitchers pitching in setup roles right now. So
and I agree with Hoffman. Yeah, he's been an easy one.
Well, he's kind of a half closer, so like he'll get the saves half the time. So he's a great guy to have.
Yeah, and that's one of those things we look for. I think next year as we're kind of figure it out. Like when there's a lefty closer like Alvarado, you can have someone who might also get those save opportunities like Hoffman as well. So it's something to think about. All right, Nate. Thank you. If you want to tell everyone where they can find you again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have my Patreon link on the screen or anything, but if you want to go find my videos, I'm over at Sorare Edge on YouTube. I make videos on NBA, I make them on baseball here and there, and I'll have my Patreon link in the show notes for all those videos. So if you want to come check us out, we'll get you signed up and hooked up with some projections.
Yeah, and your stuff's typically in the Discord as well, in the content stuff, so people looking for your stuff.
Yep, I have my own Discord for my Sorare Edge stuff.
Yeah,
but
sorry,
yeah,
the,
you can find me.
the official Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, the official Discord. This is my username. So if anybody wants to message me or ask questions about it, feel free.
Rock on. Thanks again for coming on. Appreciate it. Good
Hey,
stuff,
appreciate you having me. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. All right, we're back. You guys stop whispering to each other. I saw you. I'm actually.
Did you hear? Talking about a little bit about the Euro. And whatnot.
Oh, what happened with the Euro?
Nothing. Just didn't come home. Spain won.
Yeah.
I think everyone and their mother thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yo.
Here we go. All right, we've got
Damien
Damien coming in for us. Are you ready, or do you need a minute?
Me, I can jump in.
Yeah,
Jump
hop
on.
in there.
Here you go.
What's going on, dude? Nice to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Kyle, how's Damien? How's it going, man?
Damien, good to meet you in person.
How you doing?
Good.
Likewise.
All right, get this out. All right, Damien. So we grilled John for about an hour. He said a lot of stuff he shouldn't have said. To be
Okay.
honest with you, but it is what it is. What I guess for people that don't know you, can you talk about kind of your role at Sorare and
Yeah, sounds good. What's up, guys? Happy All Star. I'm Damien. I'm based out of New York City, and I do all things marketing at Sorare. So really focused on the MLB and NBA, so our US sports. Been here for a couple of years, and absolutely we'll have a Modelo.
A little salty.
Okay.
Interesting.
lime and salt? Yeah, sorry.
All right, great. Cheers.
Cheers. Good to see you here. Thanks. Yeah, so John as well. Thanks to Sorare for having us, bringing us down here. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, how have you guys liked it so far? When'd you get in?
So I got in real late Friday night. I wanted to try and make the Futures game on Saturday.
Okay.
And so Kyle and I went to the Futures game. It was
Nice.
pretty cool. I got there pretty early, and so they were all taking batting practice. And so our seats were kind of dead center, pretty far back, but there were a couple balls that made it up there.
Okay.
which was pretty
Nice.
Yeah, and the guys shaking fly balls or throwing balls up too. So all the kids that were in the front row
Nice.
got the ball, which was
Nice.
pretty cool.
You didn't want to take one?
No.
Already got 3.
I was gonna say that's one of those things where, there's kids there. Those great. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Got to see a little bit of the celebrity softball game, and so one of the things we talked to John about was next year getting us a spot in the softball game. So if you can, start working on that.
Absolutely. We're also working on getting Nico the first pitch for the All Star game as well. So
Yeah.
we'll get that. We'll get a Sorare team out there as well. That'd be awesome.
That sounds good. But yeah, so that was me yesterday. Kyle, we want to talk about you got in yesterday, right?
Yeah, I got in about midday yesterday. Got into my hotel just in time. Made it just in time for the Futures game, and was able to enjoy that. And then they had the skills competition afterwards, but it really didn't get going until it kind of turned into a home run derby part.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everyone wants to see.
Right. I
Yeah.
just tell them just nix the first 2 parts and just make it up.
Yeah.
I say, I say one, give them a Lewin and bats, and let them go.
Okay.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun. Because really, only Roman Anthony. I guess that Cam had enough power, I think, but some of them were struggling.
Yeah.
When you got 8 swings to it's you gotta make each swing count.
We have a lot of ideas for them, so we'll be following up with them.
Yeah.
Soon about that, but having them play against doing them against the college players would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so did you watch the skills thing at all?
No. I'm actually coming from a bachelor party, so we weren't watching the skills competition.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that was this morning. I think they showed it this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, so part of it was they put out numbered targets on the field.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so you got 4 or 8 points. If you get through like one of the zones in the
Yeah.
outfield, but they also had bunt ones, and it was like 24 bunts for a perfect bunt.
That's awesome.
And so like they ended up bunting, but I was joking with Kyle today, like I saw a perfect bunt today. I was like, that's a 24-foot bunt.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
But yeah, so yeah, it could be better. But yeah.
Who are you most excited about from that group?
I'm gonna let Kyle take this because he is far more of a prospect guy than me.
I mean, Roman Anthony had got the home run swing going, but Cam Collier definitely has the power. But I mean, the one that I think is going to might make it up at the end of the year this year is Teal for Boston. I mean, it's not like Wong's kind of separated himself to be able to hold it down, but I think they could bring up Teal and then shortly after Mayer and Roman Anthony. I mean, I think that's who showed out the most.
Yeah.
Just at the skill, because I mean it's sometimes what you get 1 at bat, 2 at bat, and then you're going against the best pitchers. Like you can only do so much. So I think the skills competition was a good separation to be able to allow guys to kind of showcase what they can do. But yeah, that's where I was really impressed with the Boston prospect.
All right, cool. So we'll be looking out for you to get his #1 cereal when it comes up.
If they make it for the end of the year, yeah.
Of course. Nice.
Yeah, those are probably the guys that they're especially if they start slow. We were just talking about Lawrence Butler on the A's who I think hit 3 home runs. Did he hit 3 today?
3, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
who hit 3 home runs today.
He's got the power.
Yeah, but like he bought him started for like $4, last year because he got called up at the end of the year and he wasn't doing much. But yeah, it's one of those things. All right, so marketing wise, what can you tell us about Sorare? What should we look forward to for the rest of the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the June and July stuff was something we were very excited about. Getting people up and activated for All Star. So we'd love to kind of hear you guys talk about your thoughts about the collection event. I know you had a nice outfit.
I thought it was great. I couldn't think of that.
Don't take the thing.
And I think what we're seeing is like July is like when baseball is like the only show in town in U.S. sports. I know the Euro is running this summer and it unfortunately did not come home. But we want to make sure that like people feel like there's something to do on Sorare in the summer. And yeah, July is a perfect time for it. So when you see what we're doing with the July chase, we think that's like a meaningful time to like offer like an interesting and exciting competition and prize pool and do some marketing and storytelling around that. So that's really what that's been like the big push that we've been planning for. And then for the rest of the season, we want to make sure that we're keeping like our active user base engaged. And that's like through like live ops, special gameplay, more chases and all that stuff going into the postseason. So that's what it's about the rest of the year. Is like just keeping the game fun. So you guys have just more ways to play, more ways to win. So I think you can expect more stuff.
It's heating up this July on Sorare
and whatnot. So happy to get your guys' thoughts on how we can continue to like make things interesting. Aces High is running right now. I got screwed over by Zach Gallen. He got shelled, which is unfortunate.
Pretty much everyone at some point like had a pitcher just.
It was a tough weekend.
It's been a tough season for pitching. A lot of guys have injuries, but then everyone's getting blown up at least once every 4 starts. So it's pretty rough.
Yeah, Brian Bello looked like he showed out today, which I was excited about. Yeah. But so. I think we're trying to keep the game fun, and it seems like people are engaged and active and enjoying themselves. So,
I will say it seems like this year, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems like there's been a concerted effort to keep the excitement and like interest kind of stretched out over the year, right? Like normally we see, kind of right around the All Star break. At least last year, there was kind of people are selling off cards and looking forward to the soccer season and all that. But it certainly seems like there's been an effort to kind of keep things interesting for us. I know last year, I think the playoff chase, I think that went great. People were excited. People were looking forward to it. Even the most negative people were like, but then they were getting into it and they wanted to win. So, kudos on that stuff. I think that's great. The more that we can see the better. Is that something you are doing? And then also from a conspiracy kind of mindset, is that why you're holding back players? Are you guys holding them back so that we need someone in August? That's true, right?
Let me get my team hat.
Is it not true?
No, I mean, we're bringing more players, I think, into the marketplace, especially as we're going into the July chase here. And with some of the players that have just been withheld, it's no conspiracy. Sometimes it's just like a logistics thing where there are missing headshots or just some IP hangups that we need to work through with our partners. So I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but keep that feedback coming.
John took care of all the throwing people under the bus in advance. So
no problem. Yeah, so
definitely don't watch the first hour. He didn't mention you.
Yeah, you guys had a whiteboard. What's the grievances?
And just all the arrows pointed to you.
I haven't spit that before.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's we want to be fast and get those cards in your guys' hands. So provide that feedback, and it's not going on deaf ear. And we're glad to hear that you guys love the postseason. I think right now, the multi-day format for gameplay lends itself to us needing to be creative around how we construct the playoffs. So I think Everett and team continue to do a really good job there, and we do want to continue gameplay and bring something exciting for MLB postseason. So if that looks like the postseason or the championship chase that we did for MLB and NBA, I think that'd be a great outcome. So you can expect that.
So our plan set for that right now, or is that something?
No. I mean, I think there's obviously a status quo of what we can run based on the past. But plans aren't set at Sorare because I think we're contrary to what some people may say in the community, we're always thinking about how to make the product better, right? So yes, John and I were actually talking about this a few days ago. We want to give you guys plans 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. And we want to tell you the grand vision, the grand plan. But every time we see something exciting, we just want to take that and iterate on it, right? And sometimes when you release something, you're not actually necessarily sure what the response or the outcome is going to be. So we don't want to put ourselves out talking about postseason plans right now, when in reality, there may be some unlock, there may be some insight from what we're doing in our other products or other sports that can allow us to build something even better. So the intent to do gameplay, to do something for postseason is absolutely there. What it looks like, we'll keep our cards close to our chest for now, but keep the speculation coming, and we can talk more about it when we get to the fall.
That sounds good. And it's something that I told John earlier. We have no idea what you guys are doing. We only know what we hear about, and there's times where it's we hope something is happening. But so just the more kind of you can tell. I mean, even if when it is, we don't know, like what you just said. It's good to hear that stuff. So, and we've been joking that there was a kind of dearth of Sorare MLB content for a while, but now there's almost too much that I was are we going to even have anything to talk about today? I feel Hunter and John Morosi, and then Eric Anderberg is going to come on a little bit. Kind of covered everything, but there's more than enough opportunities to come out so that the more we can get you guys to submit to our airing of grievances, the better.
No, absolutely, and I think it's great what you guys are doing. First and foremost, thank you. This is my job as marketing gets easier when you guys are talking about the product, the real baseball experts, and bringing people along the journey, right? So I love to see the resurgence in the content and the engagement. And I think a key part of that is continuing that and making it educational. Really explaining Sorare. One of the things that we're focused on right now is onboarding and what is that first time user experience? I hate to see comments on a social post that we work on and someone's like, the mobile app sucks, or like secondary market. Hey, we're working on it.
No, I mean, like, honestly, and I know it's a big deal for you guys, but like, most of the people I know just don't use it. Like, why would we use it? Like,
Absolutely.
You can use a browser on your phone. Like, and I know that's one of those things, but
So, I think where we've gotten to this season is, we figured out, formula so far that, where people are engaged and excited about the gameplay. I think we've made some pretty good improvements to the platform, the performance. I know there were some fits and starts and whatnot, but then how can we accelerate that? So then that's where, we start looking at the mobile app and how do we increase the usage and the experience there, because that just continues to reduce friction, not just for you guys, but, when you're sitting there talking to a friend, explaining the platform, it's easy for them to intake and ingest. So those are the types of things that we're focusing on.
So I'll tell you one thing that I would love to see, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but like tri-sport competition, because like in October probably, or like early spring,
the sports equinox.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, we could have soccer, basketball, and baseball all at once, right? Is that something that? When can we look forward to seeing that?
Like, so that's something that comes up all the time, like intersport marketplace, like the tri-sport competitions. I can't say it's on the roadmap right now to run that gameplay. I think we want to get to a place where we feel really good about like the gameplay across all three sports, and then you can start figuring out how to like intertwine like the ecosystem and the communities and whatnot. So I can't say that's coming anytime soon, but that is like a common thing within Sorare where people like are very excited about like that cross-sport feature.
Yeah. So next year.
Actually, next week. It's a beta test right now.
That is good. No, but and for real, and I was talking to Hunter about this on the way there, and our crazy Uber driver. What was her name?
Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah, who got us here.
She got us very fast.
I guess
we had a car.
We
yelling at
made
the other
it.
cars. But we made it safely. So
It was
Your body made it like your mind left a different story.
I did tell her to watch the stream later. I think she'd watch it. She's one of the 5, so we're good.
Nice. I totally lost my train of thought now because I was reliving that traumatic experience. But for sure, I think something that we're looking forward to doing. It was SorareFP. Like, this is not like I never wanted to do this. I love playing Sorare for sure. But as a little boy, I was dreaming about the content. But Alex left us. I don't know if he's still watching or not. But thanks, Alex, for leaving me with this. But yeah, no, I mean, but I am looking forward to the various kind of ways we can hopefully get more people into this, because I do think, I know for Sorare, like, we've got free sport. I'm sure we love them all the same. There's no favorites, but for us, for sure, baseball is the best. It's I think just the format of the game is one of the more fun ones, and something that I'm looking forward to doing with SorareFP is kind of putting together that kind of tutorial content. From the beginner kind of to the advanced, and that's really one of the things that I love about the game is that it works for everyone. Like we've got people in our Discord who are soccer folks who literally know nothing about came in know nothing about baseball.
Yeah,
they just kind of ask like, well, what do we do? And you kind of start from scratch and kind of figure out like, here's the basics, and then if you want to dig a little bit deeper, you can. If you want to dig deeper from that, you can. But again, I mean, I think John said there's like 40,000 people that were in the collection event, right? Like there's 40,000 entries. So
like 40,000 plus.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how many free-to-play players are there? Like at least 20,000, right?
That's tough. I would have to actually have my computer, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, 15,000.
Yeah, but I mean, converting free-to-play players, like getting them kind of into it, but converting the folks from soccer as well.
Yeah,
kind of getting them into this. I'm looking forward to kind of hopefully helping be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that we want to do is like draw parallels to people's like like experiences with other platforms or products. What we see is, people who are interested in Sorare typically, have some sort of comfort with crypto. They do fantasy sports or some sort of betting, and they're gamers, right? And I think that last one is important because when you're describing the concept to someone, people are like, at least on the football side or the soccer side, it's like, that's a FIFA Ultimate Team, but it's fantasy. And what you're starting to see after sort of like the Rivals League stuff for the Euros, you're starting to see some like FPL, creators and community members get really interested and excited about Sorare. That's kind of what I was talking about, right? Like the insight from like the Rivals League is like, oh shit, like that was actually something that like helped it click for some FPL people, right? So we're really excited about the start of the season there and how our existing Sorare community members are onboarding those individuals, right? And like how do we cross pollinate and really get them jiving together? So that's the type of stuff that I think you guys could be really helpful with. Are there people playing MLB The Show? Are there I think Dynasty is kind of like that parallel for a lot of American-based people who have played those things for a long time, like a Dynasty league. Like that's what Sorare can be at its essence, right? You own these collections season over season and whatnot. So finding those parallels, communicating them, and then kind of just organically growing things when it finally clicks for individuals, right?
Yeah, for sure. For me, and that's something I thought about it, to some degree, it's like, kind of my community, like the SorareFP community, not mine, but, but the thing that I'm responsible for now, to some degree, it's like, we're catering to people that are already like way too into Sorare MLB, right? But there is, I started playing NFTC this year, so it's season long, and you do draft at the beginning of the year. Kind of similar to best ball, but you do weekly. You set your lineup. There's no transaction, but yeah, there's a ton of Sorare MLB players that are doing best ball. I can't because I'm in Idaho and Idaho hates fun. but I can do NFTC here for the first time this year, and so I did almost a dozen teams of those, and that's something where I'm looking forward to putting together a league in NFTC for like the people I know through Sorare, but also hopefully. Getting some of those folks. So, that's a huge part of the fantasy community are the people playing FTC. They're the ones that are doing. Like, anytime you see average draft position for fantasy baseball, it's coming from FTC. And so, those are the folks that are super into it in the offseason. I was doing drafts in January. The people that do them in Thanksgiving. It's crazy. So I think that is something where I'm looking forward to. Like I said, hopefully putting together like an FTC league for Sorare folks, so they're looking forward, to something fun in the off season. Because it is something where in the off season there's not as much you can do. But that's how I did my research. I did it's a 50-round draft, and you don't get to pick up anyone during the season. So like who you got. So you need to figure out like who might get called up, like who's the 6th or 7th man in line for a rotation spot and all of that. So that certainly helped my Sorare kind of experience this year. But I built that knowledge kind of through figuring that stuff out. So yeah, I'm hoping we can cross pollinate that way.
Absolutely. What are some of the things that when you're speaking to people about Sorare, it's a question for all of you guys, like when you're speaking to people about Sorare who have not necessarily played it yet, where do you see the most interest? Where do you see some of that friction? Like that's what we're like consistently experimenting around right now. Because obviously we have this highly engaged, user base, and obviously the concept is very, very compelling. So now it's just how do we tell the right story? How do we make sure that when someone signs up, they're taking all the necessary steps to feel good about the experience? So
I'll let you guys go, but that for me, one of the big things, and it seems like so it's moved away from it, but like NFTs, people don't like NFTs right now. For the most part, especially card collectors, like that's and it's NFTs, digital collectibles are kind of an existential threat to cardboard and baseball card collectors. I'm sure Kyle should talk about this. That's more your world.
It's more of you can get utility out of a card, and it doesn't out of a digital one, and being able to utilize it in different contests, being able to it's yours that you're able to, I guess, grow the XP, yours to sell, yours to trade. Like you could take it off the Sorare platform and have it digitally wherever you want. Now, is it useful then? No. So you're going to keep it on, but it is 100% truly yours. So it's not like they can take that away from you, which is part of it. And also you don't have to worry about, I don't know, like, I mean, we just had a hurricane come through. You don't have to worry about you had it in the first floor, now it's damaged. No, it's protected online, secure. So that's kind of one thing like that can be a detriment to physical. And but yeah, you can sit there and because some people like to trade, some people like to sell, flip. It's up to you to utilize and how you see fit.
And I think, you're talking about gamers for a while, and you're talking about different kind of gamer than like a board gamer, but like, to some degree, this is a deck building game, right? Like this is, and certainly it's much different kind of audiences than, but like to some degree it's Magic the Gathering, it's, Pokemon, like it's, you're building a deck and you're playing certain cards, and, the things that are happening are based on a baseball game instead of, tapping the mana and all that. But I think it's sometimes an easier way to describe Sorare to folks. Those sort of this is an NFT fantasy baseball digital collectible game. Like that doesn't make any sense. But if this is a deck building game, to some degree, I think that sometimes it's an easier way to describe it for folks.
It's being able. It's best to be able to take that person and figure out what they know.
Yep.
If they know like video games that way, if they know card games that way, if they or maybe it's like some might just be enticed by, like, say, some of the game theory, being able to, well, man, if I play the lesser played cards or whatever, or people, you're just not putting Judge Soto and stars out there. You find your way, or you can play your favorite team. Like you'll just sit there all week, and you're the week that the Oakland A's went off, like that had just happened. You have your shot. People can play all different ways, and you can just kind of whatever way they can relate to, you can explain it to them. I think that's the best way to see what they know, and then be able to build on that way. Yeah. How do you got anything?
Yeah, I feel like crypto people are probably the best, like the easiest on board, just because they're familiar with NFTs and stuff. And that's how I learned about Sorare. First place, I was working for a crypto startup, and we had a partnership with Sorare. So a lot of people were from there. Also have experience playing daily fantasy, and I found there's not a lot of people who play daily fantasy who transition to Sorare. Probably there's just a bigger barrier to entry. With a game like Sorare, it's more complex, and you have to do a big down payment to get a good gallery and stuff. So I don't know. I guess people. I've had a bunch of people on the podcast too that are collectors of physical cards that are big into it. Also, like you said, people that play Magic the Gathering. I've had people on there that say that mechanics are similar. I've never played Magic, but there's all different avenues. I guess for me, like I found people that are into crypto NFTs are probably the people that understand it the most, rather than like people just the fantasy games.
Yeah, that all those things all make a ton of sense, and I think like what we're trying to do is like make it feel like a game where you don't even have to say NFT or even really understand that this trading card that you're buying, selling, trading with others is an NFT, right? I think that's what drove a lot of initial excitement, which is amazing, and like it's incredible to see how that community has come together to continue to grow Sorare. But at its essence, it's you build a collection of cards, you play with them, and you win, right? And things like the collection event are even ways you can get rewarded for owning these collections. So I think it's really just like showing people that it's like actually just something fun to do with your free time, and bring you closer to like your favorite players, your favorite teams, and hopefully win some cool prizes every now and then. And I think once, and it goes back to like where our areas of focus are, right? It's like it's the gameplay and it's that user journey, making it as simple and as engaging as possible. And I think that's like where you see some exciting stuff with like what they've done on the rivals in football. You're coming back to the platform every single day. I was logging into football every single day. I was like, the first thing I wanted to do after checking my MLB lineups was like, who's playing in the Euro today? Like, let's go set that 5 lineup. I'm trying to get promoted in the arena. And, I'm now competing against my friends in this rivals league, and we're playing together, so like just increasing the volume of engagement, which is fantastic. Offering new ways to compete and win novel rewards. Like all of a sudden, I did go and, make a purchase for like the Georgian goalkeeper, because he was absolutely on his head, so it's just finding ways for people to build confidence, not feel like there's necessarily a high barrier to entry to get started to win something. And yeah, just make it part of like your daily sports consumption routine. So I think when we can do all of those things, you start to remove like the skepticism around crypto. You start to remove like it's pay to win, and you start to remove, just some of the general confusion. So feel very confident, in where, we're focusing, where we're seeing the opportunity. And, I think these guys and the rest of the team in Paris and New York would feel the same way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've got Eric just about ready to come on. So
okay. Awesome.
Thanks again.
Am I off the hot seat?
You are for now.
Well, welcome to Dallas, guys. We'll see you guys. See you guys
looking
around.
forward to it.
Cheers. Thanks for the Medella.
All right.
There we go.
And so yeah, I'm going to bring Eric on in a minute, but I did want to kind of ask you guys the same questions that Nate talked about. Was who do you like? Who do you not like for the rest of the season? And what are your thoughts on relief pitchers and starting pitchers and stuff?
I've rarely done it, but it's as some of these pitchers that got off the hot starts, or some of the like ones that have transitioned from relief pitchers to starters towards the end of the season. I mean, like a lot. I got hurt this week by Crochet getting cut early.
Yeah,
and I knew that was a potential of him probably going to start at some point, but I was hoping at least he'd make it through the All Star break before he started doing it.
Right.
But I mean, I guess they want to start preserving his value if they can find a trade. But so I don't know. When you have those, when you have enough SPs where it's starting pitchers are just solid, you know he's going to go out there and get you at least a floor at 25 or something. Then yeah, but it's all it takes is one home run with a couple guys on base, and you're at the same level.
Yeah.
So I don't do it too often of playing a second starting pitcher.
Yeah.
But if also some of the pitchers have been hurt, I don't have it that much.
Right.
Your gallery of pitchers it's definitely been that's just a less quality high end starters this year. And you have to rely on those matchups a little bit more.
Yeah, you mentioned Crochet. I mean, he's been a beast this year. Leading the league in strikeouts. Chris Sales up there, Cole Reagan, for sure. I love those lefty strikeout pitchers. Who else do I like? Sedan Rafaela. I'm a little biased, but I think he looks good. He's a rookie. He had some really big games. He's still batting lower in that order for Boston, but I think he does have a lot of upside.
So rest of the season, how would you rank their outfielders? O'Neill, Abreu. Rafael qualifies at least that outfield. He's not playing short of Weber. He's playing.
Yeah.
And then Duran and Yoshida.
Yeah, Duran's probably number one.
Top 10, Duran.
Duran's good. O'Neill started off the year so hot, but he can strike out so much, and he often does not look very good. But I think you maybe have to put him at 2 now.
I don't think Ishii was very good. I think he's the last one. Abreu.
I mean, I think he's a good baseball player. I think he's
Right.
good for fantasy. He's a kind of
Yeah.
hitter, right?
Yeah, he's like
I've been DHing him a lot.
Right.
right. He gets it done sometimes, but he's kind of like a Stephen Kwan or something. Good signing. Yeah, and then I think Abreu. Willie Abreu is probably 4. I'd put Savannah because Willie Abreu. I mean, he's fine. He's actually hitting for a high average, but but the other guy.
I would overall pretty good. I would like to see like of what major league outfield like besides not injuries affecting what 3 have played the most together this year of say across the league.
Yeah.
Like of what 3 is there, because I mean it always seems like there's always 2 solid in most outfields across the league, and there's always one that they're flipping to the Clooney or something like that where he's not full time and they give him a day off. But it's just like I prefer used to be. You can always count on like guys to play as an outfielder.
Right.
It's solid. It was just you didn't have to worry about random days off as much anymore for them. And now it just seems like they always we got 2 solid. We have one we kind of flip around. And very well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Twins fan. And for
Right.
Twins, it's just you never know what you're going to get. And yeah, I was super excited about Matt Wallner for this year, and then started slow, and then he just destroyed AAA pitching, and now he's come up and he's got a Forrest Lewis stretch right now. He's hitting a home run almost every game.
I
So
was gonna say Royce Lewis looks really good. He just gets hurt all the time. But if we get a full season from him,
I mean, he get half. I mean, it's the same thing with Byron Buxton too. It's like
right.
you get a
Buxton's really
Why
turned it on this
Why
year.
do they get hurt so much? So
it's cold maybe.
Is it
And
cold? Like,
the
get people
muscles are
hurt?
too cold, and so they're tearing everything. I don't know. It's one of those things where you wonder. Minnesota has had a huge problem with players not telling the team when they're injured. Like Joe Ryan did it. Alex Kirilloff, it was the same thing. Like Forrest Lewis, like he was clearly a little bit hobbled, and it's hard to tell with him because the team has specifically told him like, don't run as hard as you can. Like you need to not do that.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to tell if he's actually hobbled or not, but you could tell his groin was kind of bothering him, and then he pulled it, and now we don't have him for another.
So what do you think of Pablo Lopez? Because he was supposed to be.
I think he's going to be fine. I think I
Bad
think
luck.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
his
Underlying numbers are
have been
good.
fine.
Right?
And I mean, sometimes he starts to kind of lose control of one of his pitches or whatever, and also I think he seems to pitch a lot better. Like I haven't looked at the stats for this, but like with Vasquez as opposed to Jeffers, like it seems like Vasquez calls a very game for him. I think he understands what's working and what's not.
His straight star.
Yeah. Like when he's not on with his changeup, like kind of going with one of those other pitches or whatever. So, yeah, but I mean, he's one of those guys where I think he's fine. There's always pitchers that are underperforming, and you can always pick up for $5 for a limited that guys that are clearly going to have at least a good stretch, even if they're not good, for an entire season. Like, but that can put it together. I mean, like Bailey Overs like that, Joe Ryan's like that.
And then also you just run into buzzsaws of an offense that are hot. That didn't matter if you had your best stuff that day.
Yeah.
You had a bad start. Then you like, okay, cool, he'll bounce back at Novi. Ran into the hottest offense in the league, and then another one, and then it's like next thing you know, it becomes a trend when it's really not. If he literally would have played a different team in between those two,
right,
you would think of it differently.
Yeah,
it's that's the thing of baseball. It's just the schedule. With where you
that's
trend.
baseball, Susan.
And then it works out where you play in away, then you play a team in between, you play at home, and next thing you know, you played the team twice in a rotation. And just can hurt you real quick.
All right. So one last question, and then we're going to get Eric on. If you could pick one starting pitcher the rest of the way, would you have to go with? Who would it be? I mean, for me, I was kind of thinking about this. Like Jacob deGrom has always been that guy. Like when he's healthy, and then like when he's not, though, like is there a guy who can fill that role right now? Considering injury, like possibility too.
Man, who's most been I think who can keep going is Sale.
Yeah, and if you want to pick 3, you can, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to.
Like if I really had to just squeeze it down, like I think Sale's he's back to himself.
Right. Well, and he's made it this far. At this point, I mean, he's an injury risk, right? But at this point, he's made it this far. He's not hurt yet. So same thing with Glass now.
Glasso did just go on the now, but I think that's just manipulated.
I don't
Right, exactly. Like if the All-Star break hadn't been there, he would have.
This isn't like maybe his elbow's going to get surgery.
Right. This is just hey, All-Star break. Let's get you an extra day. I really like School just being able to keep those track of. I do have I grabbed an AL Cy Young ticket for him. Like back in January. There was that one. And I feel like you got stuff in the All-Star game with Blanco. I mean, he's been a top 10 starting pitcher.
He looked good from what I saw today too.
Right.
I think he gave up a home run early, but then
that's it. I mean, I think I feel like besides if there wasn't the mandatory one from every team, he'd be there.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
I mean, he should be there over Willie Castro. Probably. I mean, Willie Castro has been like for sure an MVP for the Twins.
Right.
Like he plays every position. Like he's made their lineup flexibility so possible. But is he an All-Star?
Yeah, but those are kind of the 3 of having a combo with them. Hopefully throughout the rest of the year, you could be able to consistent starts.
All right, what about you, Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Blanco to Morosi on the pod, and he was saying that maybe it's because of the suspension that he had, that maybe he didn't get the All-Star game, which I totally forgot that he was suspended. But Blanco's having a great season. Although his underlying numbers aren't really up for what he's been doing with the no-hitter, obviously. But yeah, probably Crochet. I already mentioned him, but he just looks so dominant this year. He's had some huge games. He did have that one game against the Marlins where I know he's going to do much better than he did. But yeah, Crochet for me. I kind of like Nick Lodolo a little bit, a little sneaky, because he's come back from injury. Hasn't had a ton of starts this year, but another lefty. Yes, there's a lot of good lefties in here. You mentioned Skubal as well. Yeah. I think Lodolo looks really good there for the Reds. Kind of looks like Chris Sale a little bit. I think same sort of delivery, but Glass now is always there. That's kind of obvious. Skubal. Can't think of anyone sneaky. I mean, the Red Sox pitching has been good. Bayo hasn't been good. He's supposed to be our ace. So maybe
I like Cutter Crawford a lot.
Yeah, I just had Cutter in Aces High actually. And he had a great game against the A's. With the A's, I forget. But yeah, Pivetta, Houck. I mean, it's hard to pick a third guy. I guess I'll go with Houck. Because he's our lone pitcher on all thirds. So yeah,
nice. Rock on. All right, I'm going to bring Eric on. Thank you guys for doing this. But yeah, you can take a break now. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And looking forward to the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Rock on.
Do it.
All right. And here we are. Eric, can you hear me?
What's up, Clamp? How's it going, man?
Good. So good. I like the whole background scenery you got going on.
Thanks, man. The wife decorates nice, It's her office most of the time. It's my studio part-time. So that's me.
That's awesome. So how are you? How was did you get to watch the Euro final?
I did. Yeah. Such a good game. Yeah. Did you watch any of it at all?
I didn't. No, I was frantically trying to relearn how to run a stream and all of that. So, and then figuring out where we're going to be. We're currently in an undisclosed location somewhere in Dallas, but we haven't gotten kicked out, which is awesome because we weren't sure for a while.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Yeah, lots of banquet space being taken up during All Star Weekend, I'm sure. Well, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it. Excited to be here.
Nice. So I'm going to start off with the question I just asked these guys. If you could pick 3 pitchers, starting pitchers for the rest of the season, who would be your guys?
Yeah, definitely hit it on the head with Sale. I think for me, he's just looking too good right now. I sadly don't really own him. I don't own him. I'm still figuring out which way I want to go with him, whether in season or classic. So I'm TBD on that. Glasnow is going to have to put the team on his back for LA. So Glasnow, and I think Skubal would be the the obvious one. Just looking really good this year. Man, there's a couple other guys that, have been pitching really well. I would love to see Flaherty continue, whatever team he's on, but that's my guy. He got me my podium, and he was my $5 rare that I've been riding all season long. So
Nice.
soft spot in my heart for Flaherty, and you like to see him pitching like he, up to his full potential. So I hope that he keeps it rolling. Hunter Green looked really good against the Rockies the other day too. I mean, he was in my aces high lineup and just shot me up the leaderboard. So I would love to see him continue to pitch. Yeah. Flaherty and Green would be the honorable mentions there.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. Those Reds pitchers, they seem to have so much potential. Yeah. And then there's times, and Hunter Green, like, he's got that fastball, but at times it seems hittable. But there's other times where he seems to put it together. And he very well could have a bright future, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. They're young and exciting. They have a good rotation and a good, some heavy hitters too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, their offense. And they've got, Matt McClain hasn't even played this year. They've got and CES, like it could be a fun year for fun team for years to come, which is pretty cool.
Definitely. They're gonna be nasty. Weren't you guys talking about players earlier on who haven't been minted yet that need cards?
Yes.
Can we throw Hines? Can we throw Hines on that list?
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Those first 2 home runs, I watched both of them and I was like, my goodness, 450 plus one of them was 440 and one of them was 458. I was like, that has to be a record cumulative for the first 2 home runs of a career. If it's not, then I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, we love you, Sorare guys, but if you could just get us the players that we want. I'm talking to you, Damien. That's fine. No.
Say what's up to Damien. What's up, Damien? What's up, John? Local, Hunter. How's it going, guys? Yeah. Great show so far. I've been listening in here on the background in the little lobby. So
it all came together. We weren't really sure for a while. We were scrambling at the last minute to make sure we had internet and all of that and figure out microphones, but we got it done. I was a little disappointed we didn't get to actually do it from John's hotel room, which I thought would have been probably the funniest thing we could have done. So, but here we are. Yeah. And again, thank you for coming on. But yeah, no, I missed the Euro final. I got to watch a little bit of the Astros Rangers game here in Texas. They were playing it. Luckily, there's like kind of a hole in the wall like burger joint right next to my hotel, but it's phenomenal. Like it's great burgers, and so like I got to hang out there, watch a little bit of baseball as I got ready, and as we poked at John repeatedly to try and figure out where we were going to be doing this from. But
amazing.
But yeah. All right. And
so you gotta get that Texas barbecue out there too, man.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's when I travel, my favorite thing to do is eat, like for sure. And so, it's a good time. But all right, so for pitchers, I wanted to one that we didn't get to was Shota Imanaga. I don't think anyone mentioned him. Like my other AGA shirt is a Shota one, which is pretty fun. For me, I think Glasnow, I think Reagans, and I think Scooble are probably the 3 that I would go with if I had to pick ones. But in part because I still don't think I picked up an Imanaga one, but I would like one because he's nice.
Yeah. Ace and ace, love it. AGA. That's exciting, man. I mean, there's been a lot of solid guys this year. I'm really curious to see what happens on the at the trade deadline at the end of the month here with the arms.
They've already started moving. I saw Hunter Harvey got moved, and
did he?
Yeah, he went to Kansas City.
Okay.
So we're starting to see movement, but yeah, I mean, I think dominoes are going to start falling here and in short order. And I mean, even teams like the Rangers, like if they're kind of they might well be sellers as well, which would be interesting to see some of their bullpen arms go around. But yeah,
we'll see. We hope not. Would love to see them stay in the fight until the end of the season here. Would love to see Adolis pick it up a little bit. Let me down this game week. Took the risk. Didn't trust him, but I threw him in there anyways. And 6 points. There it is.
Yeah.
But, I would love to see him. I know he's in the home run derby tomorrow, so maybe he wins that thing in front of the home crowd and then keeps it rolling into the second half.
Yeah. You never know. I know. I think Soto had a year. Was it 2 years ago? I think where he was kind of scuffling early in the year, and then like he got his home run swing together for the Derby, and then kind of went on a tear the second half. So
Yeah, I was at that home run derby. That was the LA home run derby, actually.
nice.
So, yeah, that's the only home run derby I've ever been to. It was amazing. It was super fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
remember.
remember looking at his stats for the second half, and it was like Bonds-esque. Like, I mean, because his his on base percentage is always high, but like he went on a tear that second half of that season.
When Soto's hitting, he's the best. He's so much fun.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I would have loved to have seen Royce in the home run derby. It's unfortunate. A lot of talk today about about him, but I mean, for me, I mean, I've loved watching the Orioles, for a while, and certainly for Sorare, they've been one of those teams that I've kind of relied on for offense. But which, speaking of Jack Flaherty, like I bought one of his super rares during his first start for the Orioles last year, and he pitched he's 3 miles an hour faster than any of his other starts. I think he was so excited, and that one went well, and then it was all downhill from there. So he's dead to me now, but yeah, no. So for the home run derby, I'm hoping Gunnar can pull it off. Like he's had a heck of a season so far this year, and it's fun to watch him go.
Oh yeah, he's been the guy this year. I mean, he hit another home run today, and I was just like, okay, still one more day without a Gunnar in the collection. That's gonna hurt me again on the leaderboard. So I'm eyeing him in the second half too. Again, some of these guys, I don't know whether I'm going classic or in season, and it's all just kind of depend on what the market does and, how many chips I can stack and how I want to manage my payroll. So that's one of the things that I've been trying to work on the most is not just blowing a couple dollars here and there just for the fun of it and actually keeping it for when I need it. So, I mean, all of us Sorare guys out there know it's hard to keep that balance without pulling the trigger on shiny things. So, but no, I'm excited. I can't wait for the second half of the season. I think I like where I'm at right now with the gallery and have some momentum going. So it's fun to see both you and Nate. Good to see you guys, picking up some podiums and having fun. And I'm super excited that you guys are going to be back. So it's what you're going to be doing every few weeks on Sundays, right? Yes. Shout out Nate, co-host of the Weekly Walk-Off. Shout out Nifty Discord. First of all, should have done that right out the jump. Those are my guys right there. We're back. August 1st is our next episode. We have August 22nd, and then we have the 30-week mark after that. So I think that'd be September 14th. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Should have came prepped with that. But yeah, August 1st, August 22nd, and then 3 weeks after that date, whatever that ends up landing on. We were just missing it, man. We saw... we were chatting, texting in the Discord about, how well we're doing this season and how much of a jump we've took since last season. And just wishing we were putting out content for it, So it feels good to get back on. We're both pretty busy with the day-to-days and stuff like that. But with those 3 episodes, plus certainly during the postseason, we're excited to be back for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys back. And I think I'm going to try and fill the gap on those other Sundays. I'll try and do a stream on those days, and so we'll hopefully have something for everybody the rest of the season on Sundays the whole way out. Because usually we have our projections ready by Sunday morning, so we can kind of do an early kind of lineup building show and talking about the week and all of that, and hopefully kind of watch some Sunday Night Baseball play out and maybe have a sweat there. So yeah,
there we go. It's fun, man. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I looked at the date: August 1st, August 22nd, September 12th, are the 3 days that we have on the calendar right now. So, yeah, we're excited.
Nice, and we've got Mr. Slimfish here in the comments.
There we go, Slim Fish.
Thursdays. Wait, are you guys are doing Thursdays? Is that what you're doing?
We're doing Thursdays. Yeah.
Oh, that's my bad. Yeah, I'm kind of an idiot.
That must have slipped through when. Thanks for having me back on that, Nate. That must have slipped through when I was looking at my calendar. So, yeah, Thursdays.
Well, I will shoot for filling the gaps on Thursdays.
Perfect.
Yeah, and
same thing. End of one game week, start of another game week.
Right. Yeah.
We still got the sweats, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
And that's awesome. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys' shows the rest of the way, and like I said, hopefully filling the gaps on the other weeks. So yeah, it's awesome.
100%.
So any other thoughts? Anything? I've got Damien here still. Is there anything? Do you have one complaint about Sorare that you would like to share? Because we've been really kind of giving him as much as possible.
One complaint about Sorare. I got a question from the Discord. It was not a complaint from me, but a complaint from the Discord. So the Discord wants to know when merch is coming for the coin shop or anything else aside from like Boost or something like that. Is there anything on that?
So that came up with John when he was on earlier, which is he doesn't know, like,
or merch for purchase. Throw some merch up for people to purchase because they'll buy it.
Yeah.
We're hurting for the Sorare merch.
We'll buy it. Doesn't matter. Like coins, whatever. Like even like Sorare stuff. Like, yeah, more.
That was the only question. That was the only question that I had. I mean, I'm a nice guy, so I'll lay easy. I'll go easy on Damien. You know, actually, I did shoot him a message the other day, a personal request that he completely blew off and ignored. I asked him to stop the game week after about like one day because I was in first, and he probably just was like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah, no, the customer service here is terrible. He's complaining that you didn't cut off the game week when he was in first. You totally blew him off. So, yeah, it's always a good time to have a stop the count.
Yeah. You cost me $200. Hopefully, I get something nice in my box.
Nice. So do you play NBA at all, or are you just?
I do. A little more casually. I slimmed the gallery down quite a bit last year to kind of rebuild the MLB gallery. But I'm going to be rebuilding it again in, the next couple months here with a little bit different strategy going into NBA. But yeah, I'm super excited. I want, more so, I'll give it away. My strategy is to buy a Luka and build around Luka. I mean, so I'm going to put together as many contests as I can. My gallery is more like 30 cards for the limiteds, and I have I think one or two rares that I had won, but I had sold off some of those to focus on the MLB, and but NBA is gonna be super fun too. I'm excited to see what's around the corner for that. We're through summer league already, so
it's crazy. Is Utah still going on? I feel like there's still games in Utah, right?
There was the summer league games in Vegas. I think it's still going on.
Did they start in Vegas?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they might be done in Utah already, but yeah, I'm looking forward because I'm in Boise, and like Salt Lake City's not that far, and so once my son's old enough to like sit through it and enjoy it a little bit, like we're gonna drive down there for sure and watch some summer league games.
Summer league's a real good time. I did it with a group a couple summer leagues ago, and it was totally worth it, especially the first week when the stars are out and stuff like that. It's super fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Rock on. Yeah. So and I was talking about this earlier. Like, I love the NBA. Like, it's my favorite sport to watch. Like, I love playing basketball, like all of it. And but yeah, I mean, the game needs some work, Damien. It's whatever. but yeah, no, I mean, I just did 3 collections last year. I did my Bucks, I did Dallas, and I got a Luka, and then Phoenix. I was kind of hoping they would make a run. And they kind of fizzled out, but. And then I think I won Jokic, so I've got a Jokic now too. So I've got I think I won an Embiid too. So I've got like most of the big guys. So I can at least do a fun lineup every week. And I do play the NBA at least because I've got a couple. I feel bad because I got a Chicago Fire collection. I saw you on some of those, but I went and got like jerseys and number ones for the Fire, and so like I probably have the top collection for the Chicago Fire. But like I have. And then I have a Crew one as well. I lived in Columbus for a while and followed the Crew, but I honestly forget to play soccer most of the time. Like, I don't even run lineups most of the time. I've got a Messi. Like, I've got some decent cards. Like, and like I tend to follow the MLS as much or more than the European leagues. Or at least I feel like I probably have like the knowledge gap is probably better for me there, where it's like. I at least have a little bit better idea than folks that are kind of more in tune with following, the good soccer. But
totally. Now I need to pick a soccer league to follow too. I've been wanting to get into it either with the EPL or La Liga, but I don't know if now would be the best time to do it with the season starting and everything like that. Maybe mid-season. it'd be fun to do it. I just need to learn the rules and stuff like that. Baseball, I love the 7-man roster. You can plug in whoever you want without having to worry about the caps.
Right.
It creates a little bit of like, a huge extra dynamic for the NBA, obviously, when you're, you could always put your star in there as your, the crux of your lineup, and then you're going to have to be, rotating guys around too when their caps fluctuate. So, that's a different.
And soccer's doing interesting stuff. And again, it's certainly not my forte, but like, with the, with the different kind of like league setups and all of that, and kind of the divisions, like I like the direction that's going. And yeah, I think I'm going to try at least to get back into Bundesliga and put together a Bundesliga squad, because I've always enjoyed watching them. Like, yeah.
I have another question for Damien, I guess. Ask him who the biggest, the top dog in the offices for on the Sorare offices for the MLB lineups. I know he had mentioned Gallon. He had a rough go at it with Gallon. Is there a lot of people playing?
So Damien, who is the top dog for MLB lineups in the office? He said Gallon was on top for a while.
No. He had some trouble with Gallon in his lineup. So I know.
I'm sorry. He said, Zach Gallen. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach Gallen absolutely shit the bed.
But like, do you guys like run an office league, kind of like you? Yes, John's.
We have office competition.
Okay.
So it depends on when it will be. So sometimes it'll be like playoff competitions, basketball. We do playoff competitions.
Okay. So
we do. And then with rivals, we do a bunch of fun rivals competitions.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
you got some serious football players that are
I'm sure.
I don't know if you guys know Arthur from like the early days of Sorare, but he was a big player. He's now working with the team over in Europe.
Yeah.
So he's very good. John's not a bad NBA player. He's not bad.
I'm too biased though. I'm too much of a Knicks fan to even have a good collection, because I bought all the number one cereals for the Knicks. So I have like pretty much more than half of the players in the Knicks. Then they're all special editions, which is nice. But
Nice.
That's where all my bag went to, and then after I got my bias aside, I was like, now I can actually buy good players.
That was a fun run they had too, man.
But yeah, my NBA gallery is pretty stacked at this point.
Nice. Yeah.
Our product manager, Charles, is the best NBA player. He's from France too, and it really pains me to say that.
It's really good.
He's good. Yeah,
I mean, they're into basketball, right? Like,
yeah.
I will say I won limited contender like game week 4 or 5.
Nice.
Really,
Yeah.
In NBA, so I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
No podium for me. Podium free.
There's still time.
I gave those up a while.
Nice. You caught all that, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Nice.
That's awesome. Man. It's fun that they're having fun with that. I would assume there's a ton of football and basketball fans out there on the French team. So that's amazing. Yeah, man, I'm excited going into the second half of the season. Hopefully, one of the things that I have been trying to work on is my patience and not selling guys low. Like that's, they eat up your gallery and you can't play them sometimes, and you just know that they're going to end up coming around because they're ball players, and it's just. As you see the market go down, you're like, okay, I could totally use an extra $20 here,
Right.
But you're like, if I just wait until the postseason and, it's a guy like an in-season, some of the cards that are eating up in time in my gallery are like Gleyber Torres and, guys like that who can get hot, you can get a higher price for them later on. So it's just like, all right, Eric, just hang tight. You'll get it eventually.
It's so hard to be patient. It's so hard.
I know. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Rock on. Anything else you want to share or talk about? Or
yeah, man, I don't know. I guess I'm just looking forward to the second half of the season, man. I know I'm hoping a couple teams start to come back around and get healthy, make some runs at it here. And on the last episode that we did, the weekly walk-off, we talked about some bold predictions and what we kind of thought was going into the next season. So you got a World Series prediction, Clamp? Who do you think's gonna do it this year?
I don't know.
Throw a couple teams at me. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to be biased. Like, I'm like, well, I mean, right now it could be the Twins. Why can't it be the Twins? It could be the Twins this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, mean, I'd love to see them. If not them, I'd love to see the Mariners like pick up a bat or two maybe and make a run. You know, sorry to the Astros fans here among us, but yeah, no, I mean, and I think you might have talked about this one too. Like, I'd like to see the Dodgers like make a run too. You know, it's like, just it's funny when they kind of first round exit, but it'd be fun to see them, you know, make a run at it as well. I think.
I said I don't want them to exit first round, but
okay.
I can't see them win a World Series because I'm a Giants fan. So
so there you go. But yeah, and then I mean, other than that, like I guess, you know, particularly from a Sorare perspective as well, I'd love to see the Orioles make a run. Like, you know, it's such a fun young team and all of that, and you know, I mean, they might be there, you know, if the pitching kind of holds up or they kind of patch it together. But like the bullpen's pretty decent. Like, you know, if Kimbrel keeps it together, and you know, they've got some arms in the bullpen, and you know, at times it feels like it's, you know, duct tape with their rotation, but like Grayson Rodriguez like can be great, you know. And then Burns, you know, he's a great pitcher. So yeah. I'd love to see them go. Yeah, I don't know National League like realistically who I can see going. All right, I might need a second on that.
Yeah.
So who do you have going for World Series?
The Orioles got it in them. I think I had the Astros actually making a run at it. I think they're gonna pull it together, maybe add another arm. You know, Tucker's gonna come back, and then my other bold prediction more so was the Padres to run at it too. So
you think so?
Yeah, I think they have a solid core. Maybe if they need to add an arm, I think, and the starting rotation. I think the Giants could sneak into the postseason too. I mean, you saw him today, Blake Snell. Funny enough, it was the perfect way to end the game week for me, because it's just funny how anything like could possibly happen, right? Like I play Johan Duran against my Giants, right? And of course, if he gets a save, I'm jolted up into a tier 1 instead of a tier 2, and I'm sitting there, you know, like, okay, how can the Giants win this game and have me still hold without blowing up Duran, right? And there you go. First batter, Yastrzemski clicks him on an unearned, basically inside the Parker. So 0 earned runs. He still gets the 5 points. I hold, and the Giants win. You know, it's written like a story. So it's funny to see things play out like that. You know. I'm sure each of us have gotten you specifically have gotten podiums that way and fallen off podiums in that exact same craziest way. So
no, I love talking to people about their most like memorable Sorare moments. And for me, it was an Easter Day game last year where the guy that was like I was competing with I think it was Romano, and like he blew the save, and so like I was gonna be okay, and then like they came back and won it, and he got the win. That was enough to put him over the top. But like for sure, that's always gonna be the one I remember the most. Like I'm hanging out with my wife's family on Easter, and they're like, "Why are we watching a Blue Jays? I don't even know who they were playing, like a Blue Jays A's game or something like that." I'm like, "Why are we watching this?" I'm like, "Quiet, we need to see what's gonna happen." But that's good stuff. Rock on. All right, so this is the part of the time where Hunter would be like, "Well, we're we're at about 30 minutes. I think we should end this. We are at almost 2.5 hours, which I had joked about doing a marathon, and I would say this is about that. It was a little bumpy at times, but yeah, man, thanks for joining us, and thanks to everyone that has been on and contributed. I'm having a ton of fun, and so looking forward to the home run derby tomorrow. So yeah, look, hopefully you'll see us. We'll be I think 2 sections off of the right field foul pole. So we'll be in foul territory, but so we might see a ball, right? But there's a fair amount of lefties. There's Gunner. Who else? Is there another lefty in there? I feel like there's 1 or 2.
Who we got? Depends on if J-Ram goes lefty, which I think
I was going to say.
Yeah, he might go righty. I think he did in LA. It's in there. Gunner, Pete. You got Adolis.
Home run derby. Who's Gunner, J-Ram, Pete. Adolis. Oh yeah, Alec Boehm.
Oscar,
He's a righty.
Teoscar and
Teoscar
Boehm are both righties.
Yeah.
Who's the last guy? I'm blanking right now, but yeah, I guess only one lefty, huh?
Yeah. Although I will say the spot we're at, one of the last, it might have been the last game I saw at the Metrodome. I caught a Michael Kadire foul ball, and it was like a screamer that he kind of fouled off to, the opposite field.
Yeah.
Like barehanded it. Like my friends that were with me, like ducked out of the way. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But luckily they didn't bump me, going for it. So like I barehanded it, right hand. I was pretty proud of myself.
Those are going to get great seats actually. So I sat in seats similar to that for the LA All Star game. I was like on the promenade, on the first row of the promenade, kind of like looking right down. That's where all the player interaction goes on. So I was like sitting right behind Ohtani, talking to Trout, talking to, the stars shaking hands with each other. All their families are down there. You'll enjoy that aspect of it. The home run derby is electric. It's going to be great, man.
I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some fun videos of us on the field beforehand and all that. So yeah, looking forward to it.
100%.
Rock
man.
on. All right.
Cool.
Thanks again.
Thanks
I appreciate it. Yeah. Talk to you soon.
Cool. See ya.
All right. And this is all. We are out. I'm probably half drunk at this point. See you guys later. Yeah. Woohoo!